Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Spawncast episode 262. Sean's not here. He's having a bit of a hard time this morning, so he'll be back next week, I'm sure. Let me go around here. We have Nate the Hate. Nate, how you doing? Oh, good, he's here.
Yeah, I had to turn on my mic.
Okay, all right, good. I didn't know if he'd be here or not. Took a chance. All right, good. Good to have
Sometimes
Nate here.
You have to take a chance.
Good to have Nate here. You're actually kind of part of one of the stories tonight, so good thing you're here. You're playing MLB The Show, though. You keep trying to get us to do Home Run Derby.
I think it would be fun to have a Spawncast Home Run Derby. I had to play that stupid indie game that we played once that cost me $5 to never play again.
Among Us?
Among Us,
yeah.
Among Us.
So
maybe
we
need
to play Home Run Derby.
Maybe we need to turn that Spawncast Clips channel into like a Spawncast game channel.
You could do Home Run Derby. The next week we got some tennis. Sean and I could have streamed F-Zero-X on it.
Golf. What's it? Mario Golf is coming up, and I
should make our own esports league and compete with like Optic and stuff.
I am making the jerseys coming in. So, yeah.
We'll get our ass kicked, man.
We'll pop Adderall just like them. We'll be just as good. It'll be great.
It's about entertainment, not getting our asses kicked.
Oh, okay. If it's about that, I'm down.
Some people would want to. I think check out some of the jerseys. Evan's got some cool looking jerseys coming up. So
I'm gonna get one.
Yeah, I'm gonna get one. Well, I mean, where don't we play Mario Strikers? So like that's a video right there on the channel. Is Mario Strikers.
See, Mario Strikers. We got Switch Sports at the end of the month.
Yep.
There's a lot of competitive gaming.
Halo's coming back.
Halo's coming back. This could all have its own channel of us playing and competing against each other.
There you go.
Those horse tranquilizers ready.
Well, Mario Strikers. We'll be playing on the same team. We gotta roll the club.
Do we?
Okay.
Yep.
I mean, yeah. So yeah, we gotta represent the club.
Represent.
Yeah. Let's go over here. We got Max, Dreamcast guy.
Hello. It's Max Payne week. That's what matters.
It is. All right, cool. We're gonna get into that one. Then we got MVG.
Yo.
Good to have MVG here. We got Miss Click.
Hi.
Back from last week. Good to have Click.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say back again. Click is back.
we got OJ Player Essence here. How we doing, OJ?
Doing good. Spawncast pre-show was lit. 400 plus people in there, man. It was a lot of fun today. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Great conversation. A lot of digital simps out there trying to talk about how digital's better. It was great. It was such a good conversation.
I'm sorry, what?
Not the
digital simps. And we got Evan.
Yep, still here.
All right. Jordan will be back next week as well. He's taking care of some stuff tonight. But we still have a bunch of stuff to talk about tonight. We got the Max Payne remakes getting announced, which is exciting stuff. We're going to talk about Nintendo's Holiday 2022 because we had some info that I think is starting to at least solidify what it's going to look like with Zelda out, but another game apparently in. A new Tomb Raider announced, and Halo Infinite is going to attempt a comeback, but got some questions about this. So let's actually start with the Discord question, Evan.
With the unexpected lull in the GPU shortage and some cards actually in stock, seemingly able to be purchased, do any of you plan on completing a PC or GPU upgrade anytime soon?
Don't buy yet. Don't buy yet. Not yet.
Yeah, yes, but John's telling me not to buy. But I want a 3080.
I'm gonna get a 3080 as well. Trust me, I'm looking for maybe a 3090. We'll see. But like I'm keeping an eye out because I think the prices are gonna get a little lower. But we're gonna have to be a little careful here because there's gonna be a flood of them on the market all at once. So
remember the recommended retail price of a 3080 was supposed to be $699. Are we gonna get $699?
I think we'll get around that. It'll be very close.
Ooh,
it might be a little lower. It might be a little lower even, depending. But I think in the next 2 to 3 months we'll see them potentially under $1,000 without too much issue.
I have such survivor's guilt about it because I had literally just got my PC right before everything happened, and to see people like who actually have never had a PC like wanting to build their first rig, man, it's been a long wait for them. So yeah, follow these guys, like wait a little bit, but it's kind of cool that it's coming back around the corner.
I think that the 4000 series is going to be announced soon. Well, soonish. I think it's going to be announced in like a couple months. And then you're going to see people dump them after we get proof of stake for Ethereum. And it's going to be basically a big push towards all these cards that probably were mined and beaten up pretty bad. So that's what I mean when we're going to see an influx of them. I wouldn't buy any of the ones that were beaten up or used for mining, but the fact that there'll be more of them there means that the price will just fall because there'll just be so much supply shock. So I would keep an eye out for it. Evan, we got another one?
What are the cast's top 5 most wanted retro games on the new PlayStation service?
Oh gosh, Metal Gear has to be there.
Legend of Dragoon. I feel like I have not played Legend of Dragoon in so long. I want to play that on a current system. That seems
like an easy one though, because that's Sony. Like,
yeah, Sony owns it. That's 100%, and that's the first one I'm gonna play.
That should be.
I would take Parasite Eve or Ironhander.
Drop the Jack and Daxter series on there. Get that going.
I'm hoping Dark Cloud is on there. I really like Dark Cloud. So
I will tell you, Dark Cloud. Yeah, they should both be there because they're on PlayStation Now currently, and you can download them. I think anything on PlayStation Now, like right now, is just going to move over immediately. There's like 20 titles on play. Yeah, about that on the PS2 side for that. So and Dark Cloud 1 and 2 are in there, and they're downloadable, so they should be there immediately. I don't even think that's gonna be a problem. And
I already bought the games. Wait a minute.
Yeah, I know. And Rogue Galaxy should be in there too. Then.
Yeah, what am I?
Another good one.
I have all.
If they have Konami on board though, and like all the Metal Gears are in there, that'd be pretty good.
Take Rule of Rose as well.
I know, right? I always think about that. Put the rare games in there, like put
the expensive ones in.
Misadventures of Tron Bond.
Rule of Roses.
Tron Bond would be nuts.
Rule of Rose.
That's the wrestling game.
No, that's Rumble Rose.
That's Rumble Rose. Rule of Rose was that RPG, right? Like it was crazy.
This is expensive too, though. Yeah. That one's expensive as well.
I think Quick would like that game. I think Rumble Rose would be. That's definitely a Quick
I
game.
can't stand wrestling games, bro.
No,
it's a wrestling game.
That's a joke.
It's everybody in underwear. It's great.
I don't even care about that. You'd lose me at wrestling. I don't care. Underwear, then just whatever.
I mean,
you put the Mega Man games in there though. They go to Capcom and get all the Mega Man Legends, Misadventures of Tron Bond. Yeah, they can load it up pretty well. So
you're seriously fanboying now, John.
I mean, I'm just trying to help them get subscriptions here, right? Like this, I'm just telling them what to do.
Especially the OG Resident Evils. I keep asking for that. I want the old school original Resident Evils on there.
Yep. Let's start right away with Max Payne. Because we got an announcement, big announcement this week. This was out of nowhere, by the way. Just randomly, the press release dropped, and Remedy is apparently going to remake Max Payne 1 and 2, single title, Northlight engine, the whole deal. We're gonna have Rockstar funding this thing, according to Remedy, on a typical AAA Remedy budget, so like Control budget, I guess is the idea. But this was surprising because it's really felt like Rockstar has just forgotten about anything that's not Grand Theft Auto, and all of a sudden here's this new deal that was inked, and it's like, yep, Max Payne's going to be here in like 2025. But excitement. How are we feeling about Max Payne making a return?
Huge excitement. I want to see what it looks like. I'm just hoping it doesn't get censored, because a lot of baby blood, surprisingly, in that game.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I'm very, very excited, but I'm also tempering expectations as well, because this game is probably about 4 years out from being released. It's probably 2025, I want to say, when we see it. Hopefully we'll see something sooner than that, at least some type of preview or something. But
I'm curious, because the foundation's there, right? MVG, like they know, like it's not like they're creating a new IP and like all new stuff. Would that make it? Do you? Because you've done like remasters and all that stuff, right? Remakes, all that stuff built on top of basically an older game and like what was put before it. So like, would that make you think it faster to develop and create if it's already there, or?
It's really hard to say, because the game is so old, and I do wonder what direction they'll take it. Like they could just basically throw the entire, I don't want to say throw the original game away and start fresh. But I mean, at least they don't have to come up with a story and all that stuff, right? Like, so there's definitely parts of the game development that they don't need to worry about. But yeah, I am curious as to how they're going to do this. But if it is using Northlight, Remedy obviously know their own engine better than anyone else. So it does tell me that either way they go, even if they don't use the original game as kind of the starting point, which I think they probably will use the original game, considering they built that game and they built the Northlight engine, then they should know of a path to get to, Northlight. And I think I'm kind of looking forward to it. I think they can do some really incredible stuff with what the Northlight engine has to offer.
I want to ask a question to MVG. I mean, well, what I'm thinking, maybe this game is built like how they built like Tony Hawk, Could it be something like that? How,
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because, they say it's a AAA budget, but I also question if it's the lower end of a AAA budget, right? Like, how much money is actually going to be spent on this? And yeah, OJ, I kind of wonder if it's going to be the same thing like Tony Hawk, if they approach it that way, which would be really cool if they did, because I think that would be, I'd be happy with something like that. And I think, most fans would definitely love to see something like that. So I probably would say it's the lower end of a AAA budget, in this instance.
I hope they put some effort into it like that, like they really go for it, because this could, I don't want to say, kind of revive Max Payne to where maybe they look into a brand new one then after this if it does well.
This is probably a barometer for the series. They want to see how this release will do, and then they will gauge whether there's going to be future interest to remaster or remake Max Payne 3, and then do a new installment for the franchise. If these two games come out, or this singular game comes out and it doesn't perform well, that's probably the end of Max Payne. And even the scope of the project is probably still to be determined. They announced this literally the day they inked the deal for this project to be greenlit. So they probably don't even have a vision of scope for what they're really doing beyond, here's some rough budget figures, and that's it.
You think Remedy's getting a little overloaded right now? Like, I'm looking at their pipeline, and I'm like, they're going to do all this stuff. They got a new Alan Wake coming up. They got a new Control game coming up.
They have the Control spin-off. They have 5 projects, including this. So it feels as though they are spread a little thin. And that's where this title must be something that is 2025, probably at the earliest, unless it's, as MVG is going with, we're looking at something more in line with the Dead Space remake, where it's just built off the skeleton of the original games, which doesn't really seem to fit Rockstar's vision.
Do you think Rockstar would provide any kind of like manpower or support for this with developers, like help them out as well through support?
They don't have firsthand experience with Northlight.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a good point. That's the difficult part about this, is that, Remedy are the only ones that really know Northlight because it's their engine, right? So as far as recruiting people to work on this game, they have to be sure that that they're coming in either getting ramped up on this engine technology quickly, right? Because you don't want to be wasting time trying to learn Northlight. So I think there's definitely some risk there for them, that the team that's working on this game, and maybe it is a smaller budget and a smaller deliverable, like the Dead Space thing that Nate was saying, because I feel like why wouldn't they just pivot to something like Unreal Engine, which is kind of industry wide? There's a lot of people that work in that space, and they could easily bring people on that know the engine technology. Same with Unity, but the fact that it is Northlight does make me wonder, how big is this team and how much money has been kind of put into the pile for the budget for this game.
That's kind of the thing with this announcement as well, is that maybe they're looking to hire. They want to expand the studio scope. And I believe Remedy is somewhere in the area of 330 employees. But when you look at the pipeline of projects in production with Control 2, Alan Wake 2, the Control spinoff, and then there's another title as well, they have to expand. They need more hires. And for them to announce this as quickly as they did, that screams it was a beacon for new hires. It was also a way to tell investors, because this was the beginning of a new fiscal year, that Rockstar has inked a major deal with Remedy for the resurrection of Max Payne. So the timing of the announcement was definitely suspect, because why announce a project that's not going to come to fruition for another 3 to 4 years? And it's going to be another 2.5 years before we actually see even a teaser trailer for this game.
Yeah,
that's literally what I was about to bring up is why announce it so soon if this is something that you could potentially see people complaining about. Where is this years down the road? So you do feel like it kind of is just kind of like an open call for support and interest and people to come in and join the team, essentially, is what you're saying?
Yes.
And Nate's right. I mean, investors as well getting their buy-in on it as well. Rockstar's, they've had a bit of a rough go over the last couple of years, honestly. I mean, sure, they still make shitloads of money on GTA Online, but like
a couple billion,
their reputation took a bit of a beating with Grand Theft Auto Trilogy at the end of last year, being kind of labeled as a studio that just doesn't care about making games anymore and stuff. So this really does repair some of that.
Oh, that's turning that narrative's turn around real quick once GTA 6 hits. Once that trailer drops, it's over.
People forget, things that happen very quickly when you make a big announcement like that. And I think Max Payne is big enough for people to say, "Oh, okay, Rockstar, yeah, we forgive you. Give us the game."
I have to assume Rockstar is just like completely all in on GTA 6 development right now. So if they can like fund other projects through different developers, I mean, I like that too. That's a good idea if they want to do that. So,
well, I mean, are we really expecting this to be that AAA? Because I mean, I really liked the Tony Hawk, and I really liked what they did with the Crash Bandicoot and also the Spyro remakes. But a lot of those like they straight up said. They said, like, as I watched a lot of the dev interviews, they said they had like the original level meshes. They just put like new textures wrapped around them and stuff. I'm kind of curious, like, I wonder if this can be done in like 2 years and not be that expensive, or do you think they're going to rebuild every single brick, every level, every texture, every line of dialogue?
Well, the interesting about this is they're going to take the two games and I guess just mash them together in some way. Like they're going to.
Well, see, that's going to be the key thing: is how are we really utilizing this term of remake? It's obviously not going to be Final Fantasy VII remake, where it's completely different telling. Yeah. But are they just going to combine the single narrative of Max Payne 1 and 2 into a cohesive single experience where we get all the events told, through that single game? Is that how they're going to remake it? And it's not going to, because as I said, it's a single package of the two games. So it doesn't sound as though it's just two games from a start menu. It's going to be a singular entity that encompasses both games.
Which is how it feels already. I played them a couple of years ago, and they feel like one game sold in two packages already. Yep. So I think if they package it together with one aiming system and do it, you wouldn't even know.
They're still really fun, but they do need some work with where we are now with controls and other things. So I'm all for it if they're remaking.
I just want those comic book cutscenes and the one-liners. That's kind of
controversial from what I've seen, because some people are like, nah, they don't need the comic book stuff. I was waiting for them to cut corners. I thought those were really cool.
Awesome.
I was also the person who liked 13 though back then, so I don't know. What do I know?
And those Max Payne one-liners, where he's like, everything's a cliche until it happens to you. All that stuff is the best.
in the world where everyone's blind, the one-eye man is king. He just says shit like that out of nowhere.
The game's dialogue is great. I took the painkillers to ease the pain.
The original poster, it said, "Do not cross a man with nothing to lose," and it's written in police tape. It's like, okay.
Yeah, I just hope that they improve like which they will, but like the shooting and all that. I did play it. I remember I played it back when it came out, but then I played it again like 2010 or 11. I'm like, these games suck. That's what I felt at that time. Like there had been like Mass Effect had came out. Mass Effect 2 shooting blows it away, so we've had new games come out since then, so that's kind of how I felt at the time. But I'm pretty sure that they're gonna
completely. What about Max Payne 3?
You gotta play Max Payne 3.
Did you play that?
Max Payne 3 is great.
I played Max Payne 3. I necessarily don't like Max Payne 3, but it's definitely better.
3 is good.
It's an upgrade over. In terms of like controls and gameplay, it's definitely an upgrade, a big upgrade over the first two games. But I'm just hoping that they really remaster it. Like, remember Mass Effect 1 and how that played, and then you play the Legendary Edition, and it's much improved, right? And that's just a remaster.
3 needs it at least needs a patch for the Xbox, but I think they need to remaster it because it was a PS3 title, so it's not on the PlayStation. Like they might as well go full on remaster of that one. Like it doesn't even need that much work.
The interesting thing about Max Payne 3 is you can get it on the PC on Steam pretty cheap, and that's got 60 FPS, 4K. I mean, it's all.
You can like uncap that thing and be like 1,000 frames or something.
So I feel like they should just retroactively apply that to Xbox.
Hey, Max Payne 3 is still a fun game. People can play it. I like 3. I was actually playing it. I actually played it on Steam. I think last year. Still enjoyed it. Good game.
He shaved his head bald. That was the one thing that I was like, why do you do that? I just didn't understand why, but I know he was like in hiding. It was like the game's quite bought it.
It was kind of cool back then because remember Sam Fisher did it with Double Agent and stuff.
Yeah,
everyone was a bald white guy back in that generation.
Less polygons, less hair.
Days. The Agent 47 days, where it's like you gotta look like Agent 47, or you gotta like something around that. No, but I mean, like I said, I've played and beat them. I think that they're, like I said, when I first played it, I thought it was incredible. Like I thought Max Payne 1 and 2 were just so good. Because like the bullet time, right? Like
bullet time. That's what it was. Really
bullet time wasn't around. Like nobody did bullet time. So now, I mean, not everybody's done it, but back then it was unique and it was interesting and it was fun, and you hit the barrel and it blows up right next to the person. It was like you hit them right between the eyes, like whenever you're like jumping, like you can dodge and do the bullet time. It was so cool. Then you had like Dead to Rights come out and all these other games that copied it.
Stranglehold.
Dead to Rights. I've never heard of that.
Stranglehold. Stranglehold was cool.
Stranglehold was cool.
Dead to Rights.
I knew somebody would say Dead to Rights. I knew it.
Do you have Stranglehold? Do you have Stranglehold?
Right into my
Do you have
trap.
Stranglehold? Come on, Max. Do you have Stranglehold?
It's behind me. I can grab it.
In my
Do
opinion,
you have the one with the movie?
I think I do.
The Max Payne movie was horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
it was pretty
horrible.
bad.
Well, that was Wahlberg, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it was just terrible.
Oh, there it is. Stranglehold. I like that game.
So do I. There was really bad multiplayer where you would like if one person did slow mo.
I don't think I played the multiplayer.
if one person did slow mo, everybody got slow mos. So everybody's
it's just constant.
The whole thing is just like the slowest multiplayer.
That's terrible.
OJ. I'm convinced at this point that Max is like a video game character and just pulls items out of his belt.
Yeah.
And look at inventory, just pulling games.
Let me get out my rocket launcher. All right, turn it out. Dead to Rights. There we go.
Or like Pokemon Legends. You ever play or like Grand Theft Auto? Is like you got the wheel. He's got the wheel. Sometimes he runs out though. He's got to go reload. He's got to go get something different.
All right, what do we think?
It's ready.
What do we think this game's dropping? Hit a year.
25.
Guess a year. 25. Okay.
32.
32.
I legit think this is going to be pretty short dev time. I think this is going to be done in 2 years.
Oh, okay. Wow.
God damn. You crunching those developers, Max?
Yeah, fuck them.
Either that or we're getting like a no upgrade thing. It's just, there it is.
I'm kind of going like holiday or like fall 2020.
All right, guys, I'm going home.
I think I'm with MVG on this one. I'm on 2025. So like 3 years from now, 3.5 years, I'm gonna say.
2024 the earliest, but 2025.
Do you guys ever just like hear ourselves like talking and you say 2025? Like we're gonna be closer soon to 2050 than 2000.
Yep.
I saw there's a meme where it showed that it said 2050 is closer than 1990, and it shows Frieza go. I choose to ignore that.
We got to talk about the real issue here, Click, and that's that you haven't played Max Payne 3 yet.
Bro, you're gonna get chat going again. It's Sean. We did his WTF episode this past week.
Oh yeah,
and he brought it. I was glad he brought it up. He's just like, how does it feel to upset people when you haven't played a game? And he was getting upset for him. It was awesome, but no, I haven't. So
at least Quick though, here you only have 3. There's only 3. Resident Evil, there's like a bazillion. You know?
Well, same with Halo, man. Like Halo has like so many games as well.
So you played them.
Well, yeah. I mean, I still have to finish. I'm still at 4, but then Horizon came out, and then Elden Ring, and then Kirby. So
just stop at 4. You're good.
Yeah, 5 is bad. It fell off L plus ratio.
Plus 3, 4, 3.
Yeah, Max Payne 3, right on Steam. Look at that, very positive reviews.
Damn.
There you go. Still looks good. All right.
I bought it for like $5 digital back in the day. I have a physical copy.
It's almost always on. Like I'll see it on Steam. Half the time on sale, it'll be on sale for like $6 or something.
This is a weird true story. I own 6 copies of Max Payne 3 because I kept finding it for $1 and buying it.
Good investment. Great investment.
I don't know why I kept doing it where I was like $1, I'll buy it. So I have 4 copies on PlayStation 3.
I think that's a game I found at a Goodwill for like $1 at one point.
Yeah, exactly.
Evan, we got a Discord question over there.
With more games from the GeForce Now leak being announced, are there any that you're getting hyped for?
Final Fantasy Tactics.
Ogre.
Tactics. Well, that's coming at this point. Yeah. Unless there's a big swerve and that's a cell phone game.
It'll probably be that.
What else was on that leak?
No.
Half-Life on the PlayStation? Half-Life 2 on the PlayStation?
Final Fantasy 9 Remake.
Yeah, that was one. Square could try to ruin that. That'd be good.
At this point, man, my confidence in Square is very shaky with these remasters, bro. Like, how did they botched Chrono Cross, man.
I mean, I could take a quick look at them for you.
Really?
Some of the crazy ones here. Let's see. Okay, so Final Fantasy 9 Remake is on there. Final Fantasy 16 eventually going PC. We already knew about the Tactics Remaster. Kingdom Hearts 4. There you go.
I'll be out in 30 years. Cool.
Dragon's Dogma 2. That'd be good.
Yeah, I'm going with Tactics so far.
Yeah, FF Tactics. That game, what is it? The PSP version is so good. War of the Lions.
Titanfall 3. Titanfall 3 is on the list.
Come on. They're not making that, are they?
Titanfall 3 is on the list.
No.
No, that's the thing with the leak is there are a lot of games on it that are legitimate, but there's also some that are just nonsense.
Yeah, God of War on PC. That's never gonna happen.
More like Bayonetta 3 on PC.
Is that a thing on the leak?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's on there.
It's happening then. It has to.
Yeah,
It's on
could
the list.
happen.
Yeah, the leak can't lie.
Half-Life 2 remastered. That's the one that was on there that I saw on
Half-Life
current
2
consoles.
Remastered.
That'd be interesting to see that get announced, wouldn't it?
I'm going to stick with Final Fantasy Tactics.
Okay. Final Fantasy Tactics. That would be a really cool game to see get announced.
Wasn't
That'd be
Dragon's
fun.
Dogma 2 on that list?
Yep, I said
Yep.
Dragon's Dogma 2. Yep.
That's one
That'd be a good one too, right?
To.
Yeah, that's one that one's looking. Yeah. We got another Discord question, Evan.
What does the cast think is the coolest looking console ever made? Not specs, just visual aesthetic.
The coolest looking console.
I have such as the original PlayStation 1, something about it, like just having these hard edges and the way that you'd press a button and the whole console opened up and you put a disc
Console's
in.
ghetto as hell, bro. What you mean? Nah, the Dreamcast looks a lot better.
Yeah,
Nope.
I'm gonna agree with OJ. I think the Dreamcast is the sexiest looking console ever
How
made.
can you say, Max? How can you not say the Dreamcast? Like you
Only the
flipped on
purple
it.
one I have. One second, let me grab the purple
Did you
Dreamcast.
pick the PS1 over Dreamcast?
I know, right? Where the hell did I put my Dreamcast? I should have one next to me, right?
I can't even find the Dreamcast. Oh no.
He's
Fake
lost
fan,
his
oh
way.
god. What are
I-
you doing?
That's a good question.
I think the GameCube really stood out, and it
I
had a
thought about saying
handle.
the
It's a
GameCube. I
box.
thought about saying the GameCube.
Those handles.
GameCube is a box.
It's cubicle.
I'm torn between the GameCube or the original PlayStation 3. I like the way the original
Love the-
PlayStation 3 looked. I
like
like the way
fat
the original
PS3.
PS3 looked.
I like the fat
way it
PS3.
looked.
Too big.
I like the way it looked.
I hated it.
Dreamcast is cool because it had like that nice kind of like off like whitish glow, like the little
Yeah, but that thing would
orange
scream
circles.
at you when you put a disc in it.
No, he said coolest looking. He didn't say
Yeah, no,
functioning. He
it's
said
not
coolest
it's not
looking.
Put it on the
specs. It's
shelf,
none of that.
man.
It's what it
I'm not
looks like,
turning
and
it
that
on.
that one looks like a modern sports car. It has the lines, it has the angles, it's got. I don't know. It is a good visual aesthetic system.
Okay. It's better than the revisions of the PS3 are not as good looking as the actual the beginning, the base.
I like the way it had like the kind of that accent of chrome on the front. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know. I liked it.
The
If it
Spider-Man font.
always looked the way it looked when it comes out of the box, and not like a week later where it's all scratched up on the top. That like initially out of the box, set it up. I like the way it looked. This is from Lotan, who said, I finished Persona 4 Golden on Vita, and honestly, it surprised me how much I loved it. Is Persona 3 portable good?
It's
not bad.
it's good, but it's not as good as Persona 4 Golden.
Yeah, well, yeah, but like the PS2, I remember that one was a little weird. I remember playing Persona 3 portable. I was like, this one's a little weird compared to Persona 3 on the PS2 when I played that.
Just the story in Persona 3, the further we get from it, the games, like each game is literally like 10 times better than the last. And trying to go back to 3 now, it just, it did not get.
Evan, was it console or just game system? They said.
I believe game system.
I'm saying Vita. I'm saying it. The PlayStation Vita.
Oh no, coolest looking console. I mean, it's a handheld console in description. So I mean it.
Okay. That's fine. But Vita just looked really, really nice.
Oh, it is gorgeous looking system.
Oh yeah.
We got another Discord question, Evan.
Do you guys have any light gun Joy-Con adapter recommendations for House of the Dead on Switch?
Are they're like plastic guns, but the problem is I haven't played House of the Dead yet myself. But
This is what you do: buy Dreamcast on eBay, buy a Dreamcast light gun,
get a CRT.
find a CRT from Craigslist, probably cost you $5, and copy of House of Dead, and go off.
I think I got two of
There's
those
only
light
House
guns
And
in
then
my
get
closet.
Confidential Mission and Virtua Cop 2.
Oh man.
Confidential mission. Oh god, I love it.
Let's go to Nintendo's holiday for 2022. Got a bit of an update around that. Nate, you want to hit us with that real quick? Let me pull this list up too.
Breath of the Wild 2 got delayed.
Well, we already know that. The next one. I have a little lineup here of games. Go ahead. What did you say in your I'm sorry. In Nate the Hate podcast, which you can check by the description below with Nate's link, he said,
Oh, yes. Mario Rabbids 2 will make this holiday.
Okay, there we go. So Mario Rabbids,
unless Ubisoft for some reason decides to pivot.
Sparks of hope. The expectation is that it will most likely be the holiday.
Yeah, that is the current plan.
Okay, which actually starts to bring their holiday into focus, I would say, for the most part, with Breath of the Wild not there anymore. Xenoblade, Pokemon, Bayonetta, Mario. I kind of put Splatoon 3 in there because I think that might be an August release now.
We're going to consider August really as a holiday game.
But it's like at the end of summer into fall, and that's something they're obviously going to push all the way through the holiday to sell systems.
I'd say July-ish.
August, you can cut it as a second half game. Like first half game, second half game. First, second. That's kind of how I see it. First half game, second half game.
Yeah,
I'm kind of somewhere in there.
I'm going from like August to like December, basically. August, November, basically is what I'm thinking right now is this window, because I don't know if any of these games are going to hit December. Although I guess Xenoblade Chronicles 2 came out in December. When it dropped, but I'm kind of looking at this as like the August November window.
Yeah, Smash Brothers was December too. That was also December.
So it's very possible that something in here, obviously not Xenoblade because we already know the month for that, but like I'm kind of thinking you could see. Could you see would Bayonetta? No, would Mario and Rabbids sneak into December?
No, it won't be that late.
Yeah, because that'd be Ubisoft. They wouldn't want to be in December probably.
Yeah, they're not going to want to position the game.
I don't know. Platinum Games might trip over themselves, and it has to go into.
I'm thinking October for Bayo 3. If
Bayo makes sense, right? In October.
Yeah.
That's
Halloween.
Yeah.
But
I mean, Bayonetta 2 came out October. Back. Well, it was shipped like it came out in Japan a little bit sooner. I think September, and then here in the West, I think it was October or whatever. But yeah.
Okay, so we got we got Splatoon 3, Xenoblade, Bayonetta, Pokemon, then Mario Rabbids. Oh, that might be around each other there. I don't know. I'm trying to fit these in. And then I was looking at it. We're expecting some other announcements, obviously around E3 time from Nintendo when they do their normal direct. Got like Twilight Princess, Wind Waker bundle. I feel like everyone just assumes that's happening now.
I mean, people assume that for the anniversary too. I mean,
you know what? If we keep hoping, eventually someday it's going to happen.
I have this feeling that maybe they're going to wait. So, that's just me. That's my expectation. I think they're going to wait.
They could.
I think they're going to wait.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if those two games don't come this year, it'll be the first time Nintendo has not had a Zelda game in a calendar year in about 15 years.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Well, we don't know what else they could be working on.
Might be a Minish Cap remake. Could be
I'd be all right with that.
Remake.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
Oracle of Ages or Seasons remake. Or
Link's crossbow training.
I ran a poll, and there are actually a bunch of people who have not played Wind Waker yet.
Yeah, we had a huge conversation on that the other day. There was a lot of people in my stream that had not played, and I was like, "Oh, it's so good." It's really
one of the lower selling Zelda games. That's why, too.
Those cat eyes.
You know what's interesting is I thought about this. There's no really easy way, I guess, to play it right now because the game itself is kind of expensive still on the GameCube, and even on the Wii U, it's not a cheap game. It's still an expensive game on the Wii U.
Even on the eShop?
I guess you go on what is on the eShop? How much does it cost there?
I don't know, but
I think it's probably still full price if I'm not correct.
Gosh. My gosh. Yeah. So
I think it's 50.
It's not like a cheap game. And then you're like, well, then I got to get a Wii U because only 10 people own one of those. So it's a whole thing there too. And you got to set that up. Whereas people already have a Switch. They'd rather just basically if they put Wind Waker and Twilight as a bundle, it's going to sell well. We already know that. So that's to me, if they want to fill their annual release for Zelda, that seems to me like an easy go-to for them.
I mean, there's literally a whole generation of gamers that haven't played a lot of Zelda games. So bringing them over is definitely going to attract a whole new crowd as well.
People are saying it's $20 on the Wii U for
it's $20.
Yes.
Cool.
Yep.
They I know with Wind Waker that came out. I think that came out 2013. So yeah, Click is right. It's been almost a decade now since the last release of that game. It's going on a decade. So
I feel like there's so many. I talk about this all the time in videos, but I feel like video games have become more and more mainstream in the last couple of years, especially. I feel like a lot of people it's cool now, but it's also just in the osmosis. Like if you're an adult, I see so many people in their 30s buying a console, and a lot of times it's the Switch, and a lot of people played Breath of the Wild and went, "Oh wow, Zelda games are great." So if you sold it to them, they'd buy it.
Yep. I mean, if you think about it, the Wii U and the GameCube combined haven't even sold half of what the Switch has sold already. So there's so many people out there who have not experienced Wind Waker.
Which is why nobody played Wind Waker.
Yeah. So I mean,
played it.
Even if you played it, a lot of people are gonna buy it again. I'll buy it again.
Oh yeah,
if there's
I'll buy it again.
I have it twice. I'm not buying it again.
Yeah, you will.
I am.
I mean, I love the game.
You're gonna buy it again.
No, I'm not.
It's
I have it
actually better.
I'm just gonna buy it and overclock the Switch.
It's better with the gamepad though. I'll be honest, man. Like I played it without. Like I switched. It's better with the gamepad, and I don't say that a lot with a lot of games, but it's actually a lot better with the gamepad.
I know why you would buy it, MVG.
Go on.
If it comes out and then a new Switch comes out and they're like, oh yeah, now Wind Waker's in 4K with Twilight Princess.
Okay, I will buy it if it's 4K.
See, look at that.
You got me.
I'm telling you.
Make it happen, Nintendo. Let's go.
The only reason why I say that, I think that like with Wind Waker, they added some nice quality of life stuff that would actually still translate to today, like the Swift Sail and things like that. But it's even just like looking at like the map, like you have to constantly press the pause button and look at the map in terms of where you're going and look at the map. Like it doesn't have like that type of Souls, like the new, or like Breath of the Wild where like you can just kind of go. Like it's a little bit more pointed. So that's why I say like the gamepad was good because it just had everything right there. The map, and you can use the Swift Sail and get exactly where you need to get to and not have to pause, start and stop. And like I said, I tried to play the game with just the Pro Controller. I'm like, I switched back to the gamepad.
So my gamepad constantly died. Maybe mine. I
Really?
feel like it had a 2 or 3 hour battery life.
The battery life is bad on there.
They had that extended pack. You need like the extended one.
I just get mine plugged in all the time. Honestly.
Yeah, well, that's what I started doing. Yeah, and I think that may have damaged it that I kept it plugged in so much. But yeah, I feel like I had to charge it 10 times beating.
No, you're absolutely right. It just died fast.
Good TV remote though.
I mean, Breath of the Wild 2 falls out of the holiday, but it just looks like Nintendo is still gonna have a pretty packed year later on. I also put down that Metroid Prime remaster, so E3, fingers crossed. There you go.
See.
What
We'll
do
see.
you say, Nate? Are we getting Metroid Prime this year?
The project's done. Retro finished development.
They gotta be
on the
holding
game
that
last
for
summer.
Metroid Prime 4 to at least be like competent or like in some way, shape, or form.
This November will be Metroid Prime 1's 20th anniversary.
There we go. Okay, cool. There we go. Seems like a good time to sell us the game at $60 again.
They're gonna double up.
I mean, to be honest though, you kind of want to time the launch window of that game though properly for Prime 4 though, right? You don't want to kind of do what they did with Bayonetta and launch it like way far ahead and like the hype is kind of like displaced. You know what I'm saying?
Prime 4 seems like it might be prime for a 2023 release.
I mean,
No pun
the
intended.
Prime remake, I feel like in an interesting way because Dread sold well, and I feel like the same way I was talking about a lot of new fans, maybe giving them an easy entryway 3D Metroid this year, give it time to sell, give it time to marinate, and then drop Metroid Prime 4 next year.
I like the idea of that too, Max. You got Dread, then you got Remaster, then you got Prime 4. You could have like a 3-year span of just a Metroid game every single year.
Exactly.
Does it ever happen?
No.
Maybe back in the day, maybe
Game Boy Advance, the GameCube back.
Yeah,
in
the portable. Yeah, the portable days.
Yeah. Fusion and Zero Mission,
but not on the same platform. Not on the same platform. If we do that, then you're right. You'd be right. With that.
Okay, like Nate, what are they doing though? It's just Prime 1 remake, but what about 2 and 3? Are they just gonna bundle that in, OG? Because I'm fine with that. We need those though. Like you can't just do 1, skip 2, 3, and then release 4.
That's
skip the whole
scope of this
everything but
project.
Metroid Dread.
That's the problem. Is that this project has changed several times. The original intent was Retro wanted to remake the entire remaster the entire trilogy, but that was before they had Metroid Prime 4. So they were already underway with working on Metroid Prime 1.
That makes sense.
When they got Metroid Prime 4's contract. So they then were looking externally for help on the other 2, but I'm unsure as how far that actually went. Work on Prime 1 is done. It was completed last summer. It's finished. It still has to go through QA and all of those types of processes. But as far as core development is concerned, Retro's work is done with the title. They can still polish it here and there, but the majority of the project is finished. 2 and 3, it will likely not get that treatment at this point unless Nintendo has found an external studio to take on the vision and scope of what Retro was willing to do for those 2 projects. So Nintendo could still come in and say, here's Metroid Prime 1 remastered with, more modern visuals, quality of life enhancements, and here's 2 and 3 with just a Twilight Princess Wii U type coat of paint.
Facelift.
And here you go. It's not getting that full commitment, or it's just going to be a standalone Metroid Prime 1 and maybe 2 or 3 come further down the line, but I haven't heard anything definitively about 2 and 3 at this point.
Grove Street Games, they wrapped up their contract. Maybe they're free. Go ahead, Click. Sorry.
Oh my god. No, I just don't know. I feel like that would bother me though. Like if Prime 4 comes out and 2, 3 aren't out, is for me that almost is like, okay, well, is it gonna be consequential to not play 2 and 3, or is it gonna be kind of its own thing?
Not at all.
No.
Because both of those were the same. Oh, I lost my power-ups. Time to solve a couple puzzles and then fly back into space.
But sometimes,
And then you're gonna do it again in 4.
Yeah.
Listen, Prime 1
3, you keep a few more of your powers.
Prime 1.
That's a big
Prime 1 is
twist.
a masterpiece. It's one of the best games ever made. 2
Right.
is pretty good. 3 is whatever. Honestly.
Whoa.
And
Yeah.
Prime,
Oh, what?
I
What?
think we can all agree Prime 1 is the one that's actually important. No offense to 2 and 3, but Prime 1 sort of established the idea of, all right, this is Samus, this is first-person shooter, this is first-person puzzle solving. 2 and 3 were good extensions of that, but I feel like you can go from 1 to 4 and you'll be fine probably.
Yep, I agree.
Okay.
I think they would have added anything to help like try to bridge stuff. I mean, we don't know what 4 is yet, but like, I wonder if they would have like played
Maybe
around with that a bit.
Maybe it's just my OCD. I don't know. I just something
Click,
about
you're
like
right. People want that though. Click, you're not the only one, but I think they might do what they did with Dread. Dread just recapped everything very quickly
Well,
at the beginning of the game.
but Dread in itself it's not like necessarily a titled trilogy or a titled series. Like it does continue kind of off the story, but it's not like what you consider a bundle. It hasn't what has been previously sold as a bundle. Like I rebought the trilogy I had it for the GameCube and then I rebought it for the Wii U. And it's just, I don't know, it's just like weird for me to think about it being like separated in some sort. Like even if 2 and 3 had a facelift, I'd be okay with that. Like that's not,
absolutely.
they're not bad. They're not bad games. Maybe just update the controls a little bit.
Here's the thing though, Click, you've played Fusion, right? Before Dread?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you didn't play Fusion, even if they tell you, playing Fusion gives you a much better, like, oh my gosh, when you play Dread, so that's what I'm like. I see what you're saying. Like if people don't have opportunity to get 2 and 3, and if they do have that type of moment, even if they recap the story, it might some of it might still be lost here and there, so hopefully they get 2 and 3. What I'm trying to say is hopefully they get 2 and 3.
I also put Hollow Knight Silk Song on here. I assume that's going to come out sometime this year.
It has to, right?
And I put what could potentially be the game of the year. Although Elden Ring did come out, so it might be a little hard for it. But that's Sports Story.
Is that
Really?
coming out?
It should be in the conversation.
Sports Story's coming.
How can we have it
Be
in the
ready.
conversation? We haven't played it.
Be ready.
We can have a conversation.
Nothing's
We
going to
can
be
talk about it.
nothing's going to
be
be
more than golf in it, okay? And disc golf, all right? That's all tennis.
Golf is a big deal.
Golf is a big deal.
Hey, Golf Story was awesome. Okay?
Remember when
Mario Golf
Nintendo put
is
out
coming out?
Mario Golf on the Switch? No? Yeah.
Hey, Mario Golf's coming out
Yeah.
this week. All right.
When's the last time you booted up Mario Golf on Switch?
Yep,
Never.
that's true story.
Yesterday
Never bought
for
it.
a sponsor spot. So there you go. I actually got a birdie on the first hole.
That's the only
Nice.
Nintendo Switch game I've sold. I've kept every Nintendo Switch game except for Mario Golf. I traded it in.
You
was
sold
fun
the
for the
game.
first
The
week.
collector of games sold the game.
True.
No, I'm ready for Sports Story. It's looking pretty good for at least Nintendo's second half. I think they're gonna have a good end of 2022 and potentially a good start, especially if there's even some hardware thrown in there. So there you go.
Yeah.
We go to some of the super chats here. Have the Riot Patrol saying shout outs to Spawncast pre-show gaming, Mr. Davis, and Green's digital game collection. I'm sure that thing will definitely be worth something. Then we have Cisco saying first time watching live. Keep up the amazing show, everyone. Shout out to Spawncast pre-show.
Dun, 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 dun.
This is for Venet saying, do you think it's possible for DS games to be brought over to the Switch or future Nintendo console, or are they stuck on the DS family forever?
It's really hard porting DS games to a system that doesn't have the same capabilities of the DS. So it's simply a case-by-case basis. I think if there's a demand and there's a want from publishers to bring certain DS games, I think it could happen. But for the most part, it's pretty
Nintendo keeps talking about, like, if we ever move to the next generation, we have to come with something new or some new mechanic. What if they go back to the dual screen setup? But like in a different way? That'd be...
Just give me 2 Switch screens.
Yeah,
There's just a screen on the other side so people can see what you're doing.
They might do some weird stuff.
I think, you know what they would do if they go back to dual screens? They'll probably do something to where it's like they get better tech, like with cell phones, and then
foldable screens.
Fully
that'd be
integrate it
cool.
into your cell phone, like where the app is not bad, like the app is right now. Like it would be that to where like it can like mirror the game, and somebody else can grab it and play co-op. That's what I think they.
And it might do some weird. It might do some weird stuff. It might happen.
They might do that. They tried a little bit with some of their smartphone stuff.
This is the thing. Do they stay safe and they just keep evergreen content with the Switch family? Or do they go back to the drawing board of, yes, being avant-garde, but possibly having another kind of, product on their hand? I feel like the key would be to keep the Switch and to kind of build upon that or experiment with that, and then have the avant-garde stuff be on the side, right? Like Labo.
The reason why I don't think it will be
or Home Circuit
is because the current president is not the crazy innovator that a lot of us.
I was going to say the same thing. He's going to play it safe, and he has every right to. I mean, there's no reason to take risks right now.
Well, it's also, isn't this their most profitable couple years ever by far? So it's like, if every single chart, like I've heard a lot of times in business meetings, it's just like, all right, is the number going up? Okay, what does it take to make the number go up? So right now it's like, all right, do we want to try and reinvent the wheel? I don't know. I think
they were more profitable maybe on the DS and Wii era. I think their max profit might have been a bit higher than right now, but I don't know how it is adjusted for inflation and all that.
Well, I'm thinking about just with all their software sales, because I feel like I don't think I've ever seen an attach rate. Like the amount of people I see who are like, oh, I have a Nintendo Switch, and here's my 800 games. I say is we all.
And they have service. They have the service revenue now kicking in with their online service. That's gonna start stacking up in the next couple of years when they have like 50 million people subscribed.
But I think the other thing too is kind of like the marketing that they've had for the Switch, where they've kind of attached it like a personal device, much like a cell phone. But it's kind of like you have multiple uses for it, but also the customization standpoints. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like the personal, like this is my device. Like I can take this with me. This is my baby. This is my buddy. Like it kind of creates that personal input to it. So for me, it's like, I don't know if you should branch out too far unless you're going to give more of that buddy system, because you are replacing the DS line. You are, kind of, in a way, still kind of having that cell phone kind of mentality.
If Nintendo wants to get crazy click, they just make a cell phone.
I mean, they could literally probably get away with something crazy like that, and I'm sure there'd be people that there would be a market for it.
Partner with like Verizon, AT&T, or whatever, and make the Nintendo phone.
Oh, no.
I just think, honestly, I think they might do that. But I think the Switch is going to be around for the next 10 years. I think we're going to get like a Switch Pro and a Switch 2, but they're all going to be the Switch family.
Nintendo would probably sneeze and sell 50 million phones by accident.
Yeah.
Oh no,
that'd be crazy.
Phones is a different market.
Apple orders like 200 to 300 million iPhones a year or something crazy.
You're competing with the iPhone and
Samsung and.
I feel like when,
what's this phone I have? I forgot.
The OnePlus.
You gotta look at the brand. If it was a Nintendo phone, you'd be like, "Oh,
OnePlus, man.
It's a Nintendo phone."
I
know what it
is. I got this phone in 2019. This phone is freaking incredible. OnePlus. I love OnePlus.
No, OnePlus.
Me too. I just feel like the association between Nintendo and phones isn't the best, because like when you think of Nintendo and phone, what do you think of? Like
Mario Run,
or the freaking I completely forgot about Run. Or the online app where it's like, oh, what are you gonna use, voice chat over Discord? So I don't know. I feel like you would have to kind of break that stigma that people have, or Mario Kart Tour with microtransactions, or anybody remember Dragalia Lost?
Well, they're shutting that down.
Shut that thing
Exactly.
down.
Exactly. So I don't know. The phone would be a different case. I don't know how I feel about that.
They made their money off that little game.
For some reason,
though, man.
I picture Sean.
They made their money off that little game.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, we out. As soon as it was dipping, they're like, we out.
Yeah.
Sean waking up next to a hooker and he's all hungover and he opens up his Nintendo phone and goes, wahoo! And he's like, Jesus Christ.
Then we can complain about trying to get themes on the phone. That'd be great. Let's see. Noah says, "What's a game everybody else loves but you just can't get into?"
Halo.
I always say this, but the original God of War games, that original God of War trilogy, I hate it. I legit hate it.
Huh. The original one.
God of War 2 was like the most incredible thing at the time when it came out.
I know. And it's one of those weird ones where I can take a step back and I understand why it's so good, but I play it and I literally fall asleep.
Did you play it when it first came out, or did you play it later?
Yep.
You played it when
the day it
first
came out. Yeah.
That's back when like QuickTime events were still new.
I know. But something about the combat loop, the combo loops just bores the hell out of me.
Definitely been Souls games for me. So I have yet to try Elden Ring, but we'll see.
I think you might like Elden Ring.
Sekiro looks like a change of pace for me, but the other ones I'm good watching, but not playing.
Like, for me, GTA. Everybody loves GTA. I freaking hate. I don't like GTA. So.
I hear you're real annoyed when GTA 6 gets announced.
I mean,
it's gonna be everywhere.
I might check it out. I'll check it out. But like, it was the same thing with GTA. I was covering stuff when GTA 5 was. Everyone's saying it's the greatest game ever.
Yeah.
I tried it out. And I was like, it's cool. But
Triple says Buck Bumble. Crystal says my PlayStation Plus premium wish list for certain PS2 games are NBA Street Volume 2, both Def Jam games, any Burnout games, Need for Speed Underground, and Silent Hill 2. Those are big licensed games right there.
Burnout though, that's good. Not enough love to Burnout.
That's why I was like, yeah, it might work, but like NBA and like Def Jam is a disaster. Oh my gosh, like that is
complete disaster.
Yeah, there's just so many licenses and likenesses.
The Def Jam people are frauds too. Let's just also put that out there. The current Def Jam owners are complete frauds, liars, scam artists. So
that's one you want to pick up for a system that you can physically now. There's probably never going to come down in price because I don't think it's ever going to be remastered or anything. So Toshi says PlayStation Plus needs Red Ninja End of Honor, that's on the PS2, and Switch N64 needs Mystical Ninja starring Goemon.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. We have Chris, no message there. Then Mr. Awesome says, does anyone know if the retro games on PlayStation Plus will have online multiplayer like the ones on Switch? That's the one thing that will make me want to play these games again. I hope it's not just local. No. We don't know yet, but if it's
Wait, doesn't the PlayStation does a thing to where you can play local games that are online though, right? Through PS Plus.
It's called like Controller Pass. We don't know if that's going to be integrated. There was patents that were founded that seem like these retro games are going to have new trophies, but I don't think it's going to have online.
That would be interesting if they got trophy support at least in there. The online, depending on the game, could be kind of cool. I don't know. We need more information about the service.
Yeah, some of those games would be pretty fun to play multiplayer, I guess, right? And back before it was just local. I mean, I think that opens things up a little bit, like with these old NES, like you could play Tech Mobile, right? Online multiplayer. Now. So
I think an old Siphon Filter, all the old Siphon Filter, Logan Shadow, all those great games. Actually, amazing multiplayer that you had to do local.
Destitute says, just ordered the new Kirby game and I also found out Square Enix filed a new trademark for Gex, the gecko in Japan, back in February this year. Last thing I expected here this year.
Let's go, Gex.
Then Hell Knight says, fight, 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 kiss, kiss, kiss. And then Cal says, thank you for the daily news. And Doomslayer says, Lego Skywalker Saga Game of the Year. That is all. That actually turned out to be a better game than I was expecting. Lego games are, I don't really get as into them. That game is actually really good. I'm shocked.
I was watching gameplay of it, and a lot of the combat and stuff was looking fun. But I'm not surprised because I enjoyed the Lego back on the GameCube, way back, and so
it's picked cool up one of the collectible bricks that you have to get, and they level up your character because they're like all these skill trees that pop up. You're like, what is like? There's one for Jedi, hunters, all these things. And I pick up one of the bricks, and it's like, congratulations, you found one of 1,300 of these bricks. I was like,
oh my god,
what? It goes between all the sagas and like it's high quality. All the cutscenes, everything that are happening, it like it looks like it took some time. So
the writing's good. It's funny. It's a good game from what I've seen. I've been watching people play.
Absolutely shocked. Like if you have some younger kids you can play with or something, younger gamers, pick it up because you can do drop in, drop out co-op. So you don't have to stop the game to pop out of the game. It's cool. It's cool. So I recommend it. I think it's an easy 100-hour game without any problems. And then let's talk Tomb Raider, actually, because this is interesting. This is Tomb Raider mixed with Unreal Engine. All right. So this was part of the Unreal Engine 5 showcase. It was a live stream. I don't even know if this was scheduled for a while because I just saw it on Twitter pop up and it's like, oh yeah, there's going to be an Unreal Engine live stream today. And they talked about quite a bit of stuff. The engine is just now out and available, so people can download it apparently and try it out. They have like a example game that you can load up and just play around with there without starting from scratch, which is kind of cool. And they talked about a bunch of partners, which it looks like half of Microsoft Studios are using Unreal Engine 5 right now. Jesus. And yeah, there's a lot of them currently. But then they had Crystal Dynamics show up and they announced a new Tomb Raider. That was very unexpected. And part of that, Nate, specifically, is because we had the talk that Crystal Dynamics might not be that interesting to Square anymore. But here they are now using the latest Unreal Engine to create Tomb Raider.
Well, I mean, Crystal Dynamics is 3 teams. So they still have the Tomb Raider team doing this project, which probably has nothing greenlit beyond the idea that they're making a Tomb Raider game. And then you have probably the entire other team who is unfortunately committed to the Avengers, and then the third team is on Perfect Dark.
Oh man, they're still on Avengers like that. Oh,
really? That's gotta be the weirdest paycheck ever. Is just making new skins for microtransactions that nobody cares about.
Wow, I wonder what the player count is on that game still. I don't know. I completely forgot about Avengers. I completely forgot about that game. But okay, so they're split up basically into you said 3 different pools, Nate.
Yeah.
Okay, so Perfect Dark, they're running, which they basically turned into almost the lead or the majority developer for that game now. And I'm curious where like these people are being divided up to. Like I assume Tomb Raider they announced this thing super early. Like this is going to be another Max Payne situation where we'll see it in like 2025 or something.
When did the last one come out?
Shadow was
2018 or 19.
It was kind of recent. It was like 3 years ago.
Yeah, but that was by a different studio.
That was Eidos Montreal. Yeah,
and it had weird stealth mechanics and stuff. People hated that game. I kind of enjoyed it.
Out of the 3, that was my least favorite one.
Yeah,
I liked the 2013. I thought that was great, but it's probably because it was like, the shiny new thing, because it's like they rebooted Tomb Raider. It's much more violent and everything, much more real, I guess you could say. Rise of Tomb Raider, I think, is my favorite one out of the 3.
That game's fantastic.
It's great.
I like Rise of Tomb Raider.
I think the most annoying thing is they keep teasing like she's about to become Tomb Raider. She's this time for real. She's got the pistols. Here it goes. And it just now it's the next she's about to. So whatever this new Tomb Raider is, I just want it to be Tomb Raider.
Yeah,
you know what
they went back.
Yeah.
They went all the way back, man.
They need to, if they're gonna do it here though, Max, you're right, but they should build it like in God of War when Kratos is going to get the blades. Mm-hmm. Just build it up like that. Like that'd be really cool. It's like, all right, cool. I got
opens an ancient box and pulls out a shotgun.
Yeah. They need to do it though. You're right. They've teased it for long enough. And
I think it's cool how much kind of fleshed out his character a little bit though, like given so much depth into it, versus just being kind of like the one-dimensional character. I guess my hair doing. But I think I've always kind of associated like Tomb Raider always kind of being like the guinea pig for displaying like all the new stuff that's coming out. So I can't say I was surprised that they would kind of lead out with Tomb Raider in association with 5. So as to when it's coming out, obviously I don't no freaking clue, but I am excited because I like this current lore that we have.
It is a good point because I remember when the original Tomb Raider came out back in like 96 or whatever, like it was the dawn of 3D cards on PCs, and that was one of those showcases. And you're right, Click. I think Tomb Raider does have that connotation that it's kind of a technical kind of showcase of
like Far Cry in that way, yeah.
Because I think the latest Tomb Raider games, even though the first kind of the reboot, whatever, was kind of cool, like the thing that I guess is kind of got lost with those games is, you're supposed to be raiding tombs and finding like treasure. You find like fucking gun parts and stuff. I mean, it doesn't make any sense, you know, like what
in
you
the later ones, the tombs were fully optional after the first one. Like you can literally be like, there's a tomb. Yeah. Well, walk on past it.
I found 2 gun pieces and
the ancient 9mm.
Yeah, so the story with the shotgun. It builds up to how I guess she became the Tomb Raider, but they took the whole damn trilogy to do that. So I see what MVG's talking about, because if you play the other ones and even some of the really bad ones, at least she is, you know, at that point. So
I agree with what you said, though. Like, hopefully there is like that breakout of like, this is like, here she is, like the fully realized kind of Tomb Raider, and then it's kind of like all of the things that you've been hoping for. Like, it's just it's a grandiose breakout.
I have no problem with less tombs, but larger tombs. Like make it like that. Okay. I guess kind of like the traditional Zelda style format, but like larger tombs that have like a bunch of different prizes and stuff in there, essentially, or upgrades, and then you have like the one big item at the end where there's treasure or whatnot. But that's kind of how I'd like to see him go with it.
The last one was way too open because they kind of gave you the whole island. I really, because I went back and played Tomb Raider Anniversary recently, which was the original remake of the first Tomb Raider, and I like the fact
I haven't played that in a long time.
It's so good, and it was on everything, literally Xbox 360, PS2, PSP, everything. But I liked that original level format where it's like, all right, here's a whole dungeon. You have to solve it. Once you get the treasure, you go to the next dungeon. I kind of want to see Tomb Raider do that again, which is like, maybe make the dungeons big, but I like the idea of like, all right, you got the treasure. Now you get airlifted to the next cool spot. You don't have to wander around. There's no filler, you know?
Yeah. I would have no problem with that.
I think they're going to go that route. You know?
Yeah. So I mean, it's gonna be done in Unreal Engine 5. MVG, you got any thoughts on Unreal Engine 5 here with what they're trying to do?
Yeah, so I've been playing around with Unreal Engine 5 for a while. I had the beta installed. I haven't upgraded to the release yet, but I think it's definitely, you know, a showcase for a good Tomb Raider game. I think it's definitely the right approach for a next generation Tomb Raider game.
That's kind of what it felt like to me, is they made the announcement in collaboration with Epic as like, hey, this is going to be that title that's going to show you really what Unreal Engine 5 can do.
Yeah, plus, I mean, if you go back and remember those Lumite and Nanite demos, those early demos of Unreal Engine, I mean, it almost felt like Tomb Raider, like those tech demos that you saw.
Oh, yeah.
The elaborate indoor ruins and stuff. Yeah.
I mean, it's like it's a perfect match almost that this game should run on UE5.
You mentioned that there wasn't a lot of foliage being showed off either.
So Unreal Engine, while it is very, very impressive tech, there's still some areas where it needs some improvement. And one of the areas that it does, and look, they'll get around to it. I'm not saying it's not going to get fixed or anything, but like all the demos that you've seen of Unreal Engine, it's like in big cities, like the Matrix demo, or it's like outside with like rocks everywhere. Anything that has like grass and foliage and trees and kind of realistic, you know, wind physics and stuff.
Yeah.
They're still working on right now. Now they may have addressed that with this release, and I'm going to check it out. But it was still a little behind, I guess, and that's why it kind of had that beta tag for such a long time. And I think it also you know tells me that even though there are a lot of partners that have signed on to make UE5 games, a lot of them for me feel like they're at least 3 years away from release. Even something like Hellblade 2, which people kind of claim is coming this year, I would be extremely surprised if we saw it this year. I would say it's probably next year.
Historically speaking, though, with foliage and the Unreal Engine, isn't that why it's always been like modular and speed tree kind of existed?
Yep.
I mean, I'm looking towards right now, I guess Ninja Theory, Crystal Dynamics, and the Coalition to really show Unreal Engine 5 off. And Coalition might be the closest. I don't know, because they at least showed up with the tech demo and all of this. They were showing off alongside Epic Games. But you know, I'd be curious about if you ended up doing a video just going over that example game with Unreal Engine 5 and all, because they seem to be trying really hard to make it so that even people like out there right now who are like, you know, I wouldn't mind trying to make a game. It seems like they're doing everything they can to make it as approachable as possible right now.
Yep. Jeff Grubb in the chat saying Hellblade 2 is not this year, so he agrees with me.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm probably going to start looking at UE5 closer and maybe make some content around it as well, because it's definitely an interesting area to kind of dive into.
I would watch that. That'd be really interesting.
It's not just for making games. It's also really cool VFX type stuff where you can just use it for animations. Obviously, movies are starting to use UE Unreal Engine as well in with CGI and stuff like that as well. So there's definitely many use cases for the engine. I think the way that they're trying to market it is very clever, because they're not just saying it's a game engine anymore. It's like a tool to do all sorts of different things, and I think it's definitely the right approach.
See Unreal Engine logos start to pop up in movies like during the credits and all this. That'd be interesting.
I think it's only a matter of time, honestly, before you do see an Unreal Engine logo at the end of a credits roll somewhere in a big blockbuster movie.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to Tomb Raider whenever it comes out. Is this just 2025? We think again. Yep. That's gonna be a fun year. We got Max Payne and Tomb Raider.
2025 is going to be a big year for video games.
If we live that long.
Yeah. So we'll see how this one turns out. I have high hopes for this new Tomb Raider on Unreal Engine 5 though, with Crystal Dynamics coming back. Evan, we got a Discord question over there.
Do you guys buy both physical and digital of the same game?
Okay, sometimes. And the reason it happens sometimes is because they trick me into doing it, because they don't tell me that there's a physical copy coming until after I bought the digital one. And they're like, look, here's this physical copy that we're going to come out in 6 months. And I'm like, well, I wanted that in the first place. So now what?
It depends. Like sometimes I'll pick up a digital game that I really liked, and if there's a physical available for it, I'll get it. Or if LRG later on announces a physical for a game that I liked, I'll usually order that as well.
I've thought about with Chrono Cross, because I have the Switch one coming in. I've thought about leaving that sealed and just getting it digitally on the PS5.
Yeah, it's cheap. Well, what I do is because anybody who watches my channel, I review a lot of games. Companies send me pretty much everything that comes out. I get a digital code, and if I really like it, then later on when I find a cheap physical copy, I buy it. So I have a duplicates of a lot of games. Everything I've given a 9 to, I have physically and digitally.
Did you guys get that $5 Cyberpunk deal yesterday?
I thought about buying a couple copies as a joke.
I already have it physically.
I already have it. I have it sealed. I have it sealed on the Xbox, and I have it digitally. They gave me a copy. Yeah. I don't know why they did, but they did. They gave me a copy on the PS5. So
I had 3 copies of it already. I don't think I need to buy any more.
I do have it. Xbox. Last year I got it for $7, like with the little Best Buy gift card that I had or something like that. So I got it.
I bought it full price.
Yeah,
because
me too.
Reviewers kept saying it was a 10 out of 10 game. So
I
bought it
pre-ordered for like a year and a half.
I bought it, and then like I think 3 hours after I bought it, they sent me a review code for it, and I was like, oh, great.
Oh my god.
No.
But I had already loaded it up because I was that guy on like New Zealand time. It's like I'm gonna finally play this game that crashed. So it's like immediate.
I didn't pre-order it or anything.
The $250 collector's edition.
Might be worth something in the future.
Rip.
Maybe. I still have all the stuff in there. I'll be honest. The guy holding the motor, he's like flying off the motorcycle in the collector's edition. I have that in my bathroom, and I balance my toothbrush on it.
No.
Hey, if you can get Cyberpunk for like $5 to $10, that's fun.
It's worth it. $5. $5. It's worth it.
Yeah. Good pickup. Absolutely. Got another Discord question, Evan?
Follow up to that question. What physical game do you have the most copies of? And that includes like if you buy it multiple times across like special editions and all that kind of stuff.
We know for Max Payne.
I've got kind of like Resident Evil 4 because you bought it on GameCube.
It might be Resident Evil 4.
Xbox,
Resident Evil 4.
It counts.
That is it. That is the game.
It might be Resident Evil 4. Because I have on the Wii.
I have every copy. I have the PS4.
I'm about to buy it on the Quest 2.
I have the GameCube. I have the Wii. I have the PS2. I have every copy of that. Every release.
Yeah,
physical copy
it might be that because I have it on the Switch also.
Yeah, I've got.
There was no physical copy on the Switch though, right? There was no.
No.
Well,
digital. It's included in that stuff. Resident Evil, the triple pack with.
And I have that.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, I think I've got 5 copies of Resident Evil 4, 6 copies of Max Payne.
I thought it was GTA 5
God.
there for a minute because I bought. I've bought GTA 5 a number of times.
I have 10 copies.
Is getting up there.
I got 10 copies of Grandia 2 for some reason. Sorry that OJ go.
No, go ahead. 10 copies of Grandia 2 is awesome.
I kept that's another one I kept finding for cheap, and I'm absolutely obsessed with Grandia 2, so I kept buying it for $2.
You said Twilight Princess get up there, OJ.
Yeah, it's just gonna be like the 4th release, right? If we get it again, it's GameCube,
yes,
the Wii, it's the Wii U, and now the Switch. So 4th release of the game, and I have every one, so I have 3 of those.
I think I just have the most for me is 2 of games. I don't think I have anything more than that. It's usually just been like if it releases on a new console and you can't switch it over. I guess if Wind Waker or Twilight Princess were to come out, technically I'd have, I guess, 3 of each of them, because I also had the Wind Waker Wii U. So, yeah. I don't have
so not 10 copies of Grandia. Then. Okay.
No, to me, I'd rather buy like food or something.
There you go.
I was cleaning out my place because I'm moving a bit, moving rooms, and I have 3 copies of Super Smash Bros. For the Wii, and I have no idea Brawl, and I have no idea how I have 3 copies.
Really?
But yeah, I have 3 separate copies of Super Smash Bros.
I love Brawl, man.
No idea.
Subspace was great.
Let's see. This is from Matt saying, "Man, what happened to sports games? MLB The Show runs far better on the older PSP and Vita, and runs like trash on the Switch." Nate, you got a opinion on that? I've not played it on the Switch.
I haven't played it on the Switch since the beta, which was terrible. So I've only played it on the Xbox.
I used to play MLB The Show on the Vita actually, and it was pretty good. It was like MLB 13. I think the show. I've not played it on the Switch. These sports games now that they're hitting Game Pass, like they kind of cycle in now. It looks like, so I don't know. Like the sports games, buying them yearly was getting kind of annoying anyway. So if anything, I would probably just get it on Game Pass. But I was going through the character on MLB The Show 21, and I didn't even finish that. So this is not a baseball game, I guess now. You gonna pick it up on the Switch, Nate, and try it out?
Not for full price.
It'll probably be half off midway through the season.
Yeah, probably by June.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Jonathan says, "What you do to grow your channel when you started?" I posted videos.
Just make content.
I think it does help to have a structured upload schedule, like the fact that MVG does like a big video every Monday, Spawn Wave doing like whenever there's news wave. The fact that every big game that comes out, I try and beat it and talk about it. It makes where people subscribe because it's like, oh, this was a good review. When's the next good review? Yeah,
good one. Yep. Christian says, I prefer the faster paced outro music to Spawn news. Okay, got faster paced music. Joel says, breaking news, you can't play PS1 games on PS3 and Vita. That's due to that store. We're still looking into that a little bit here. So might be videos popping up. Max has a video over there.
I did a video. I'm testing it. It still works for some people. I actually uninstalled a bunch of PlayStation 1 games on my Vita, reinstalled them. They all still work. It just seems to affect certain people, but not everybody.
Yeah, I am probably going to cover that, but I just want to get more information about what's going on first, before I kind of make judgments on if Sony is like removing all this stuff or whatever, because I feel like there's some level of just they don't care. This is happening.
I just don't think we care. Them and Nintendo just don't really care. They're kind of like, maybe people will forget about the Wii, the DS, and the Vita, and the PS3. I mean, this has been going on for a week, by the way. This place, it's just people just recently noticed that those posts were going up, which is the exact same thing that happened to the Wii and the DS. It was going on for a week, and then people noticed. So if you're Sony and Nintendo, you're kind of like, no one really noticed for a while, so maybe we're good. Shinru says, if you had to use one controller for the rest of your life, which controller would you all pick? I'm going to beat John on Halo with the GameCube controller.
As much as I give crap to the GameCube, I would probably take a GameCube controller because it is probably the best controller ever made.
PS4, baby. PS4.
Interesting. PS4 controller. Huh. I'm gonna say the GameCube Wavebird controller.
Yep.
Because that thing, I changed the AA batteries in that twice in like 6 years.
Oh, the battery life was so long on those things. I think at one point the batteries had a bigger chance of corroding or something before I actually had to switch them.
It was pretty funny.
Though, again,
what's the one controller you'd use for basically for the rest of your life?
Would it move across all consoles, or if you got your way?
It's a magic controller. It just plays everything.
I think my Switch Pro controller is the most comfortable for me personally.
I do actually really like the Pro too.
That is a good controller there.
I like those Amico controllers too, by the way.
All right, cell phones.
What'd you think about the Amico unboxing? That was
that fake. It looks like it was fake, right?
Man, see, I like the Duke.
I like the Duke.
Oh,
I like how the
hamburger.
Duke.
Okay.
I like how it sat in your hand.
The Duke isn't good for a lot of games.
The S-Type though. The S-Type is better.
The S-Type is much better.
Is it though?
Yes.
I would say so.
I like the placement of the black and white button on the Duke better.
The Duke is terrible for fighting games. It's terrible for certain type of games because it's just
you gotta reach so far. Let me press the reload button.
Like I said, even for people with big hands, the Duke is like, yo, this is like.
I remember when I first got the Xbox, it was like press the white button. I'm like, what in the white? What? And you could like find it on the Duke controllers, like all off to the side. It's like now they're bringing like these different weird colored buttons and stuff.
The S control, those buttons, some of those are really tiny. Like
I know what you mean. They're like indented in kind of for those. But the S-Type, they just I like. It was comfortable. It's comfortable.
I agree with Nate on the Duke.
Okay, the
Duke
controller. You know what? One controller nobody said. The Wii U Pro controller is freaking light as hell, and it lasts like 80 hours. Like I pretty much beat all of Xenoblade Chronicles X on one charge. You know, so it's crazy.
The problem with the Wii U Pro controller was the analog stick placement.
Oh,
I didn't like how they were symmetrical at the top.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's
you like the offset one.
I like the offset.
Okay,
yeah.
Symmetrical.
I didn't. Okay. I guess most of the games I played were like. I mean, it didn't really matter, but yeah.
This is Jonathan saying, "You guys are awesome. What is your favorite Sonic game?"
06.
Such a thing.
Sonic. I want to say Sonic 2.
Nah, for real, 2
Genesis.
is mine.
All right, I'm gonna say Sonic Adventure 2. I like Sonic Adventure 2 a lot.
I think everyone just likes that first level.
Yeah, that Sonic Adventure 2 is a
the first level's good.
I like
it's a master of disguise because you think it's amazing, and then it's like, wait a minute, hold up.
Well, in a way, I love the weird whiplash of like it's a Knuckles level, and now you have a Dr. Robotnik level, and then a Shadow level. I liked that.
What were you saying, OJ? Which one was your favorite?
Sonic and Knuckles to me is just like Knuckles was just so cool to play back in the day, man. And like that, then you can put him in other games. Like if you have like the cartridge that opens up at the top, like you can use him in like Sonic 2 and stuff. It was so dope, man. It was like the original like DLC or something. I don't know what the hell that was, but you can use Knuckles in other Sonic games, you know, that came out before it. So that was cool.
Juan says $20 per article IGN tweet. To me, it was a reminder of why paywalls exist and how crazy is the business of online editorials in general, not just gaming content like Spawncast. And this panel is essential. Well, thank you, Juan. Jacob says, I've been listening to the Spawncast for a while, but I've only recently found everyone's channels and subscribed. So in the most non-suck up way, I just wanted to say I appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Shout out to Jacob.
Thank you, Jacob.
And Tony says, please have Kit and Krista from Nintendo Minute on. I think Sean actually, I'm sure would have a great conversation with them.
Yeah.
Dear God.
It's
like, I love them. It'd be fun.
It would definitely be fun. It's overhyped. Says, any thoughts on the new One Piece game? I have unfortunately not gotten into the One Piece.
I've checked it out. It's going to be like an open world One Piece game with like RPG skills and stuff like that. I mean, it seems like it can be cool, but the last One Piece game,
there've been some bad ones. There've been bad games, right?
The last World Seeker and stuff, they're just not that great. But they're trying to do their best with this one. They're saying, hey, this one's going to be different.
This could be it,
you know. But this could be it. But I mean, we need Roger's base to really get the full analysis on the games. But I don't think the One Piece.
Roger, we're gonna have you on when this game comes out. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that how long has the series been going on?
20 years,
decades now, right?
Great. If I start now, I'm sure I'll be ready by the time the game comes
There's
out.
just so many. It's great. One Piece is really good because I've seen episodes, but it's just too long, man. There's a
lot to go. Yeah, to get into. Yeah.
A lifestyle.
So.
Defeat says, "What's up, Spawncast?" Veluxian says Mario Golf Super Rush kind of feels like its support was ended early. Wish it lasted as long as Tennis Aces. Well, if all the stuff that they released post-release was there in the first place and there wouldn't be any support, and it would have just been a complete game then. But Nintendo is I'm curious how they're going to handle Mario Strikers. That's the one I'm want to see. If it's going to be a similar thing where it's like over a year.
The World Cup is this year, right? Was it next year?
That's a good chance to do more online stuff with it. Like they bring in new arenas and stuff for it that are like dressed up for the World Cup. Like stuff like that would be cool. Not like, hey, here's a new character that you could only get after you bought the cartridge that's not on that cartridge. So it's like, I
think they're going to do it like they did with Mario Golf or like Mario Tennis. They're just going to release some stuff periodically out of like a 6 or 1 year span, between 6 months or 1 year. And then once it's done, it's done.
Cillian says that they combine newer gameplay mechanics, like Metroid Prime 3 with the with the gritty. This is for Max Payne 3 with MP3 with the gritty New York comic style and storytelling of Max Payne 1 and Max Payne 2. We could really be in for something truly special with this remake. We'll find out in 4 years, 3 years.
I am happy Remedy is doing the remake because they obviously made the original.
Crossfire X hit pretty well, so I'm excited. I'm just kidding.
Damn.
No, I think this is. Who knows what happened there? But like, I think Remedy is. They've had a lot more hits than misses, especially recently.
Well, they only did the campaign,
which was the worst part of the game.
No, the multiplayer is terrible.
It's all bad.
It all sucks.
The multiplayer was so bad. It was good for like an hour when we played Max. Remember that? Like, that's it. Was.
No, I remember at one point I was like, "You want to do another match, another death match?" And you went, "No, thank you," and you just logged out.
That's out. It's like. I'm out. These kick in, what was it, Boogeyman mode or something? And I was like, I don't know what this is, but I keep winning, so
they made a special thing where if you got 3 kills, you could become the Boogeyman, where you get 10 times the health and 10 times the damage, and every time you kill people, you just stay the Boogeyman. So whoever becomes Boogeyman first just would stand in their spawn area and just mow them down. It was the most broken, absolutely broken.
Oh, that game. Oh,
God.
Roy says the Prime main plot is complete. We just got hints for the next main enemy. Silex from Prime Hunters and the 2 after credits cutscene from Prime 3 and Federation's Force. Greetings from Mexico. Scott says, loving the stream so far. Recently just beat Bloodborne after finishing Elden Ring. Love both. What is the Spawncast favorite Souls-like game? I mean, at this point now it's Elden Ring. So
I still say Bloodborne's my favorite.
I think if they remaster Bloodborne or do some kind of patch and it goes to 60, it becomes my favorite one.
I'm working on a video right now actually called "Does Bloodborne Need a Remake?"
Really good, but it needs help. It needs help.
It does, yeah. Well, and going through some of those areas, I feel like the lower res textures and some of the later parts of Yharnam do actually look kind of bad now because that came out 8 years ago, right? It was 2014.
Wow, it's really been that long.
2015.
Yeah, it's a pretty old game, but like I think
years.
the art direction in Bloodborne, like when you go back and play Bloodborne after Elden Ring, and I love the hell out of Elden Ring. Don't get me wrong, it's easily my game of the year. I just think there's something about Bloodborne that's just like
it's so interesting to look at.
Yeah,
in Bloodborne,
it really is.
Yeah, Bloodborne looks more cool. Like the designs and like the armor, like it just looks more cool. I mean, Elden Ring's probably maybe it's the better game, but there's a lot of people that are saying, "Hey, wait, hold up here." Bloodborne, if it ran better and if it looked better, it might be better than Elden Ring. I've seen quite a number of people say that, online. So
the lore, let's face it, the lore in Bloodborne is a million times better.
Oh yeah.
Liam says, will there be another third-party console on Nintendo Switch Online? Probably like TurboGrafx or something.
Yeah.
The Intellivision Amico.
I knew that was coming.
Once it bombs.
Let's talk about Halo. Halo Infinite Season 2. They put out a trailer for it. It's like 30 seconds.
Look at
Great.
it.
Somebody told me that it's going to be one new map and one new mode, and that's it.
We heard a while
I
ago it was going to be 2 maps, one arena mode, one big team battle. They could still have some surprises though, because they randomly had that mode Last Spartan Standing go live. Well, not live, but like found in the database, and it sounds like a gun game from Call of Duty mixed with Battle Royale is what it sounds like. So I'd like to think that's not like a limited time event thing, and it's going to go live with season 2. But now people are talking about there may be some campaign DLC, some story DLC that's going to go live with season 2 that they have not mentioned yet as well. Things are starting to be found, we'll say, in the game in terms of like the code and all this through data mining.
I guess that doesn't get me hyped though, because they've been finding leaks about Forge for like 8 months, you know? Like,
well, Forge has been getting tested out, which is interesting because there's supposed to be stuff, I believe, that's signed that's like, don't tell people you're doing this. But Forge has been tested for months now. And apparently it's still kind of broken. But like, if they go forward with what Forge is being talked up being now, I mean, it's legitimately going to be, hey, make your own Halo game and then you can share it. Like, that sounds crazy. So
it does, but I mean, I feel like that hits my biggest thing, which is that I'm so not hyped about Halo Infinite. If this really is just 2 new maps, like we need Forge ASAP and we need campaign co-op ASAP.
I think Forge has to come as soon as possible. It has to get here soon, and it sounds like that's going to be something that shows up at the end of this year.
God.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Apparently, it's just what they're trying to do is so ambitious that it's it's going to bust something. It's going to break the game.
A question here.
Go ahead.
MVG, the development of this type of, I know you don't necessarily work on this type as much, but is it really these developers, are they stressed to get this stuff? Is it taking that long, like to create all this?
I had a go on. Sorry, I have something else I wanted to read.
Yeah. So I've always said that Halo, when it came out, was unfinished. And you can tell. I mean, you can tell that the game was unfinished. Let's be honest, right? Like both on the multiplayer side and the single player side. The single player side has literally sections of the game where nothing is happening. And there is just so much of that in the campaign. I know people love the campaign and the gunplay, but for me, I felt the campaign was unfinished, and I just kind of tuned out of it. I was like, it felt
like it was taped together.
Absolutely. Yes. The multiplayer side we already know about is there was only a handful of maps, and there were critical pieces of that game that were missing that were on every other Halo game before it, other than Halo 5, I think, because Halo 5 was a mess when that launched as well. But I mean, OJ, to answer your question, yeah, you can tell that they're probably still about 6 to 12 months behind where they really want to be with this game. And this year, they're trying to get the game complete. And I think this is the result of that. I feel like the game should have never come out when it did. And honestly, if it came out now, I think it would probably have done better for them now. And maybe they could have staggered these map releases every month or something, and really kind of just drip fed, multiplayer fans of the game. And that's what you're supposed to do with a live service thing. You're supposed to keep offering something, but not, you don't show your entire hand and then say, we don't have anything else, so come back next May and we'll have 2 new maps and some new mode for you. Rather than that, you should just kind of just give them little pieces of things and keep dangling that carrot. And unfortunately, none of that happened. And this is the situation that we're in with this game.
They'll also have new battle pass, so they wanted to make sure people knew about that, and cosmetics.
So stupid.
But the community manager took to Reddit because every time they say something, it gets posted on the Halo Reddit, and people, of course, there's a whole thing with that, then a whole response there with the community. But Sketch is the person that went to Reddit and posted a response to it, and people reacted a certain kind of way to it because of some of the things that were said in here that made people go, wait a minute, were you guys not ready to launch a live service game? They said, we're certainly not happy to be unable to meet player and community expectations, difficult situation that's going to take the team time to work through. Right now, the focus is on season 2, and we'll have more to share on that in the coming weeks. Meanwhile, a lot of production planning, costing, more planning, and hiring is all happening, which doesn't lend to detailed regular updates. It says we understand the community is simply out of patience.
I kept seeing that quote go around. Everybody kept saying, like, how the fact that they're even now the dev team is like, we know that you guys are pissed. We're working on it.
I think another thing that happens a lot in video games is when developers have worked on a game for many, many years, like 5+ years, Some of them tend to kind of just leave and then go somewhere else because, you know, they want a change of scenery. They want to, you know, recharge the batteries and work for another studio on something cool. And, you know, based on what was said there from that community manager, it sounds like there was some turnover of staff after the game shipped. So maybe, you know, they're trying to get more people on board and recruit more people and try to continue developing this game. But it just seems like for a while it's just stalled, you know, I feel like, honestly, I know I keep saying this, but I just feel like that game should never have come out when it did. It was the wrong time to do it, even though it seemed like it wasn't, because it was Thanksgiving week and everyone was hyped for it. And hey, we all played and we loved it, but we only loved it for a couple of weeks until we kind of got bored of it, you know? So I just kind of feel like they should have just really just sat down and rethought about how they would release this game and the roadmap that they would offer people.
I think 343 set an example here. If you're Sony, Nintendo, any third-party publisher, look to Halo Infinite as an example of how you do not want to approach a live service game. 343 was not equipped to do a live service game in this style. And we know Sony wants to pivot to live service games. They should look to this and look to not replicate this. This shows how difficult live service games can be for developers. And as you mentioned, MVG, you have people who have likely left the studio because they got sick of the environment and the type of working conditions that this setting puts forth. And that's going to be for any live service game moving forward. This isn't going to be exclusive to 343. This is going to become an industry-wide endemic that is pursuing these style of games for maximum profits. And Halo Infinite is unfortunately the most recent casualty of this direction.
Does it feel like, well, first of all, Sony saw what happened with 343. They decided to just buy Bungie and just call it a day. But it kind of feels like with Halo Infinite, halfway through development, they were like, you know, let's make this multiplayer free. That's sort of what it feels like. And they're like, oh yeah, now we need a roadmap after launch. And they just were never able to catch up to even come up with it. This game was supposed to launch a year earlier.
When you rush, when you, I'm not saying crunch, but when you rush a game out to get it out, ship it out, you cut corners and you make mistakes. I mean, that's the bottom line. Things get lost in the mix. Some of those things, like a roadmap, may not seem that important at the time because all you want to do is get the game out and you want to make sure the multiplayer is working and people are engaged and stuff. And then it's like, once we ship the game, we'll worry about the roadmap. But the roadmap really should have been determined way before the game shipped out. Like this whole year should already have dates on when they should drop things, and none of that stuff was figured out. Here's
the moment I knew there was something wrong is when they were confused why people wanted a Team Slayer playlist.
Right. Well, I think what's probably the most frustrating to a lot of people, because I consider us part of the Halo community collectively as a squad. We played over 100 hours of that multiplayer and liked a lot. It. I think the thing is that it's such sharp, tight shooting. It's such fun gunplay. It's such fun balancing that it gets frustrating when it's like, all right, where's more content? Like, where's, like, even at the launch, where's the Slayer maps? It's ridiculous.
I will say the big team battle map that apparently they've come up with sounds pretty intricate. Apparently, the map gets cut in half with a laser.
Yeah, I saw that.
As you're playing on it. Like, that sounds kind of cool.
I will say this: if they still haven't figured out a way to deal with cheating and report cheaters, I'm out. Day one, I'm out. If that hasn't been fixed, or if that hasn't been like worked on at all, I'm not even going to bother.
We did have times where we would be all of us together on comms working together, and there'd be one guy on the enemy team with like 75 kills, and we're like, and none of us had ever got him.
The thing that blows my mind about the map stuff is they could just go back and remake or remaster old maps, and people would be like, this is incredible. Like I already played this like 1,000 hours on Halo 3 with the Pit, but if they said, hey, the Pit's coming to Halo Infinite, I'd be like, I don't care what Sean's doing. You're getting on Halo right now.
See, I do think some people underestimate the amount of time it does take to even just remaster a map, because if you do have to rebalance it and so forth, it takes a lot of time. And I think people underestimate really that investment. They think it's just hit this button and you can release it within a month. Right. It took Nintendo 5 years to give us Mario Kart Tour stages that's going to be staggered for 2 years. So now you look at something like Halo. If you're adding additional players that the original game did not have featured, it's going to take substantial time to really reevaluate that and rebalance it. And that's why you take these 6 months, 3 months, whatever the turnaround is to get that content out. And the community really wants it every month. They want this new content, and it's just not feasible unless you are crunching these developers to unreasonable lengths.
What do you think, John? I mean, you're probably the biggest Halo fan here. So, what are your thoughts on this? Like the whole thing in season 2 and everything.
They should have just made a complete Halo game and just sold it at $60 to $70 and dropped it in the Game Pass and just been done with it. The Halo community will complain if it's delayed again, but then they'll get over it and go to Master Chief. We were just playing Master Chief Collection until it released anyway. So if the game was going to come out and be better, then I'd have been fine with it. Forge, co-op, the whole deal. I get over it. Delays happen. Yeah, it'd be annoying, and I'd be like, 343 did it again, but then it would have come out, and I would have forgotten about the delay.
It would have probably had to have been delayed probably about like a year and a half, 2 years into the life cycle.
This game, just everything that went into it. I mean, 343. I don't. They need to reevaluate them. I don't know. They seem to be able to create all I'm saying is, Activision's coming in with some very talented first-person shooter developers. So 343 might want to be on notice right now because, like, I'm not saying Treyarch couldn't come in and Treyarch might be able to come in and make a better Halo game. That's what I'm gonna say.
Right? Hire some of those map creators at least, because they make such asymmetrical, fun maps. Just churn out some of those.
I mean, from the stories that I was hearing about what was going on for Halo's development, I think it had a lot more to do with how they were organizing and managing and delegating. I think it was more of the issue. So I don't know, whatever they do, like if they can just bring people who have more experience or more input into the scene, maybe. But I think also like having that innate pressure on devs to, you need to get this out. Again, what MVG was saying, like a lot of things fall to the wayside. Let's just make sure the skeleton's right. Let's make sure everything is running smooth. And then hopefully they'll entertain themselves in the meantime. But nowadays you just can't. People just consume games so much that you'll get bored of a game very, very quickly. It's not a game as an evergreen title for you for a long time. So
all I know is leading into the holiday, there were 3 first-person shooters that everyone was looking at. One of them was getting smack talk left and right, and it was Call of Duty. And you know what game came out and was the most complete? It was Call of Duty. They did an Attack on Titan crossover. What is that? But they've consistently had content, Nate. Consistently. This Call of Duty Vanguard game that people wrote off. Don't want to play.
We've seen what some of the work culture is at these Activision studios.
True.
But we also know they delegate it to a dozen studios to make a map where people said, we want a new Tony Hawk game. Sorry, Raven and Neversoft, you're now delegated to creating Call of Duty maps forever.
Hey, what's Rare doing?
And people didn't like that when Activision took that direction. So if Microsoft came in and said, hey, id Software, you're just going to make Halo maps, you'd have outcry and people would be against it.
People just leave. I mean, right now, for real, there is so much demand for game developers out there that the demand for devs and generally speaking, paid well, is very high right now. So studios can't afford to lose talent.
Capcom, 30% increase. That's a lot for Capcom to say we're going to give everybody a 30. They got a lot of people there. That's nuts. I've never heard about anything like that.
Yeah, that's true. Across the board, 30% pay upgrade. That's nuts.
All the Bandai Namco's got to be careful because their increase was not as significant.
Nate, they do yearly Call of Duty games, so they need that kind of support to get them out. Like they're releasing these Call of Duty games at that scale with that kind of content that is consistently updating every 12 months.
But if you probably look at the scope of developers who are committed just to Call of Duty, it will probably outnumber what Halo Infinite had 3-1.
So I feel like if Call of Duty took as long to develop as Halo Infinite, it would have come out as a more complete game.
Problem with Halo Infinite's development time is that we're also looking at the development of a new engine where we know Call of Duty has been built on it's the same engine for like the last 20 years.
I thought they
finally upgraded.
I feel like they upgraded the engine. I feel like they upgraded their engine. I think it's newer.
This is just a problem with like some of these live service games. And like I'll pivot this question to MVG. You think it's even possible to have a live service game that gets content at a steady pace that respects the health of its workers that would actually make the gaming community happy? I mean, it feels as though it's one or the other.
That is a great question. I don't really know if I can answer that because I don't work at a AAA, so it's very hard to kind of say that. But it's a very, very, very good question, Nate, and maybe it's worth like pursuing, in an episode on our podcast or something, because I think there's definitely some good questions there.
Well, how's like Final Fantasy 14? The community seems pretty happy with that.
MMOs are a little bit different though, in setups and compared to like competitive shooters. I mean, you'd have to look at some others on the market and like what they do. Like Overwatch, one of their things is one of the biggest complaints was their updates didn't happen fast enough. Their patches didn't happen fast enough. And the community got stale and got bored, and metas didn't change fast enough. And the competitive scene and the casual scene was completely different. And then you have like Valorant, where you'll have patches here and there with character balances and stuff like that. But like their main draw is microtransactions and new skins and what those new skins offer to the game. So, and then you'll have rotating game modes that come through in those games, but they're recycled oftentimes. I feel like with Halo, they just don't even have those modes prepared to have them cycled through in time. I think if you had multiple modes come out and they were already ready and you could just cycle through those and then you bring in a map in the mix of that rotation, I feel like it'd probably be more well receptive. But the menu starts looking really stale when things aren't changing of different options to play. And if the mode's not even working, like big team battle, there's so many nights we wanted to play after Spawncast and we just couldn't. So it's just I guess I'll just go play solo. And then you can't even find a solo game. So it's a little frustrating, but there are just so many other competitors out there that you kind of like, you can't just coast anymore and be like, well, this is a Halo game. It's like, well, yeah, but there are other shooters, there are other examples out there that you have to kind of rise the occasion to and choose a better option for people to want to choose your game over plenty of content.
I do honestly feel like part of it is also just community communication feedback. I think part of the reason people constantly cut so much slack to Final Fantasy 14, even when they do have to delay content, is because they're just so clear with messaging. They're so positive with messaging. I think that's part of the reason people turned against Battlefield 2042 so hard, is that those managers were either silent or rude to fans, so people just flamed it endlessly. And a lot of the messaging that's coming out of 343 lately is dismissive or negative.
But like even with Final Fantasy 14, look how many times Square failed with the game until it had to relaunch Final Fantasy 14 to really find success. Yeah, they had a lot of growing pains with that game until they found the success that we now see the title enjoying.
Well, that's a good point, because like they're saying Halo is what, a 10-year game or something.
Oh no, like, I think Halo Infinite is gonna be great in like 6 years.
But that's what we see with a lot of these games as a service, is that those first three years or so is the growing pains. It's going through puberty and everything. And then when it becomes the adult, that's where people really latch on and enjoy what the game has to offer. Right now, we are in the terrible twos. It is a loud baby that is whining, and you're just looking at it, trying to get some sleep, saying, God, shut up so I can sleep. But eventually it's going to mature.
Sleep pretty well.
I was going to say, look, I've seen Master Chief's ass. He's done with puberty for sure.
We got this show trying to ruin the Master Chief character. We got this game trying to destroy Master Chief. And then we got this cookbook coming out. We can't win.
There's a cookbook?
Yes.
Yeah.
No way.
Master Chef.
Yeah. How to make
everybody knows. Guys don't know how to cook. Well, Master Chief will teach you how to cook. Maybe men will learn how to cook. No,
promise there was a time where Halo 3 released and everyone liked Halo. It actually happened. This was real. I promise. It used to be good times with Halo.
How much is the cookbook?
Oh, I think $40.
Does it have an air fryer section?
Probably.
Oh my God. I'm going to do giveaways for this on my stream. This
what do
is
you
amazing.
mean men don't know how to cook?
I'm learning to cook right now, actually, at 30, 35.
I put on the Food Network, and half the shows are beat Bobby Flay.
I am buying this. I have like a group of like 15 friends. Like 9 out of these 15 are literally telling me I'm ordering like HelloFresh or Factor or all these things. Not sponsored. I don't think we're sponsored this week. But they're literally like, I'm learning how to cook. I have a friend tomorrow. He's drinking his soul away right now. He's like, I'm learning how to cook tomorrow. I'm like, you're like 30 and you don't know how to cook. I'm buying this for so many people for Christmas.
It's MVG tweets out his steaks every week.
Steaks
How
were
do you
made.
have
No.
15 friends?
I mean,
Why do you have so many damn friends? They can't all be your actual friend, are they?
we've been playing games for like probably 7-8 years together at the same time.
Cool.
So,
Make friends.
yeah.
What kind of recipes are in that book? Is it like cat ear cutlets? And
Oh,
You have
God.
to make covenant. You have to eat like flood.
Oh God. You know, this is a real thing. In the newest episode of the Halo TV show,
energy sword eggnog.
there is a human member of the Covenant, and she has laser swords that come out of her fingers. For no reason, plasma swords come out of her hands. So I hope that that's in the cookbook. Somebody like cutting butter with a plasma sword or something.
Sounds fun.
This is
Take your
amazing.
grunt and decapitate him. Cook him gently over the open fire.
Yeah, drain the brains into a pot.
Just
Gotta
bring
have,
back,
like,
just
that-
bring
that
back
monster-
Pit. Just bring back Pit.
The Monster Hunter pit for like some of that cookbook.
343. Just bring back the
Yeah.
Pit. The Pit, Guardian, Zanzibar.
Zanzibar. Wow. Yeah, I've thought about that map in a long time. I love that.
Then I'll take a week and not complain about Halo.
The cover looks like burgers and nachos. What?
Halo
Master
nachos?
Chief's favorite food, nachos.
Yo, I'm
This
just
cookbook
hey,
sounds like
man.
it sucks.
Yeah.
Nah, man. And listen, if someone came up to me and is like, "Yo, I made us some nachos." There's burgers on here too. It looks like there's churros.
There's a chili.
Needless
There's
nachos.
even
chilies.
drinks.
There's
Bro, if
literally a
someone brought-
sandwich. No bullshit. There's just a sandwich. It's just bread, lettuce, tomatoes, and a meat.
Sounds like a
Cookbook.
Sean
An
cookbook.
actual
Look at that.
cookbook.
That's like a freaking like 7-tower stack burger, bro.
I mean,
Yeah, this is a
The
Sean cookbook.
pasta?
Take the bread, put something between it, and close.
Battle rifle
Pasta?
prosciutto.
Oh God.
Yo, if someone made me churros,
shit.
instantly,
triple-
I'm in love with you.
A triple
Alright.
cheeseburger. It's like a
No.
triple bacon cheeseburger. Master
A
Chief does not
cheeseburger
eat
you
this.
can't
Or-
just
yeah.
eat.
This ain't no Master
Calories,
Chef.
man. What are you
This is
saying?
ridiculous. This cookbook's. This is fraudulent.
This is a
Master Chief ain't
$40.
eating a triple burger stack like that, like a
You know what Master Chief would eat.
Scooby Doo like burger or those sandwiches that they be eating and stuff. They
no,
don't be
I
eating
can
all this
totally-
crap.
Come on, man. He's got to
Totally
carve up
see him.
all that
This is
work that he's
ridiculous. This is
doing.
a fraud cookbook. I wouldn't buy this.
OJ, you literally did like what? You did nutrition and stuff like that. Man needs his calories. He needs his carbs.
I
Not
did.
that
It's
many.
called,
Boy.
Carve the F
it's
up.
called kinesiology, young lady.
He's got
Yes,
carved the F
Yeah,
up.
kinesthetics.
kinesiology, young lady. And
Calisthenics.
yes, I did take a lot of nutrition classes.
cat.
And Master Chief's ass don't be eating this type of stuff.
That's true. I've seen that ass in slow
Yeah,
motion
yes.
muted. It's for sure. Yeah, he
Listen,
doesn't
man.
eat this much.
Maybe he's got a super fast metabolism and he can just down anything.
Doesn't the suit weigh like
The suit
1,000
weighs
pounds?
like a ton or something.
Ton.
Yeah.
Yeah, more than a car.
Oh, word.
Yeah,
There's
he's
a
eating,
Street
like-
Fighter cookbook.
He's eating more than a triple cheeseburger.
Wait, there's a Street Fighter cookbook?
Hell yeah.
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 Oh,
there's
now
Street
we're
Fighter.
talking.
Wait, what?
There's Star Wars, there's Street Fighter, there's Avatar, there's Jurassic Park.
Looks
Jurassic
like they've
Had
got
Zelda
onigiri and
ones.
rice balls and
cookbooks
stuff.
gotta.
There's
Someone's
Tomb
got to take
Raider,
control of these
there's-
cookbooks. This is just
There's
ridiculous now.
There's Destiny, there's Final Fantasy 4 or Final Fantasy 14.
The only
Yeah,
one that's half decent. There's a Harry Potter cookbook that actually has some
Yeah.
real recipes.
Listen.
Deadpool. You eat Deadpool food?
I am not going to complain if it gets people to
fuck.
like be motivated to like learn how to cook. Like flat out. Like the person I know that like cooks the most out of all of us is definitely John.
No, it's
I do cook a
MVG.
lot.
I cook
Yeah.
all the time.
John cooks so much. He's like the
MVG's on
resident
his
chef.
grill like
I'm-
he's a grilling master over here.
Fucking master at cooking.
I cook 4 meals a
He
week.
takes pictures of steaks and chicken.
I'm gonna-
When Sean shows us a piece of chicken, I got look like I got run over by a fucking steamroller.
I know. I cooked a steak on my grill, and then Sean sends a photo of his like.
Half chicken
Shitty
breast on
steak
a
on a fallen
frickin'
grill.
yeah.
That
Oh,
piece
yeah,
of chicken
that
looks
steak looks
so
They look
Dry
like a
ass.
piece of cardboard.
That
Yeah.
steak looked incredible.
Oh man.
That was a good looking steak.
I grilled some fresh fish last week. I missed it because my buddies and I were barbecuing, and I barbecued some tilapia and honey. Oh my god, it was good.
Oh.
Tilapia, that sounds good.
Question though. MVG, you gotta start putting steak posts on social media then.
I do.
Does.
I do.
Do you?
Someone
he always
doesn't
said-
follow
he says-
MVG
I'll
for the
tag you-
steak
I'll tag
posts.
you next time.
Tag
Yeah,
me
it was-
please. I have never
like a
seen them.
raid. It was like a big old fat like Monster Hunter steak. It was like
Yeah,
it was
MVG's grown like
he was
brontosaurus burgers over
Hell
there.
good.
Yeah, it was that.
It's like Fred Flintstone with this shit.
Let me go to the super chats. Cillian says, click play Max Payne 1 and 2 first. You appreciate the story and where Max is with his life is so much more. With this one, it is okay to wait for the remake. There you go.
Yep. Wait for the remake.
Thank you.
Freeman says, which gaming is becoming more anti-consumer with what you guys have seen so far?
Which gaming?
And
Which I think which game studio or publisher is most anti-consumer?
Said that question didn't end.
I don't know. That's becoming more anti-consumer.
I think Rockstar. I'm still really annoyed at GTA Plus. That's GTA so fucking stupid.
Okay. Foxy says I've good click.
I was just gonna say the way CD Projekt Red handled all their marketing, I feel like it was very misleading. So.
Oh yeah.
CD Projekt Rockstar, they don't make any the anti-consumer. I said you don't make any new. They don't make anything new. These bums been making the same game for forever. So I would say that's anti-consumer. Make something else. Make something outside of GTA.
I mean, the consumers keep buying it, so they'd probably have other opinions.
Consumers,
I want to see those numbers.
Mario and Zelda. I still want Astral Chain. I still want something else outside of just the same stuff that everyone just.
I want to know. I want to know how many subscriptions they get to that GTA Plus. I gotta know.
Millions.
It's gonna be something crazy. Watch. Can you imagine just being like, oh, it's $6 a month. And you just randomly find like 10 million subscribers, like $60 million in a month. Just find it. Oh, we got to fund Max Payne 1 and 2. All right, GTA Plus.
Dig it out of the couch
next month.
There you go.
Isn't that crazy? Foxy says, I've wanted to get a couple of digital games on PS3. Should I be worried now that the cross situation happened?
Yep. Buy them now.
Yeah, you got to buy them now, but I don't think this server glitch stuff. I do think it'll probably be fixed. Hopefully, the people who are buying games and they get unredeemed, we'll see.
Yeah, probably like Monday or Tuesday. Like I said, it's the weekend, so Smith says, "Give us our classic Lara Croft back, tank top shorts, dual pistols. They got to do the dual pistols, right?
That's the best part.
Yeah.
I just think about how much her legs blister and chafe from those straps with shorts on.
Yeah. She slides down like rocky crevasses, bare-assed practically.
Mike says, I really miss the Tenchu series. Think it's dead. Probably. Luke says, how far along is everyone in Elden Ring? I'm 40 hours in and loved it. Thanks.
Beat the game 128 hours.
Wow, all right.
Loved every minute of it. Took my time, explored as much as I could. What a game.
Good stuff.
I'm thinking about your Game Plus now.
Dude, it's an easy platinum, I promise.
Yeah, I'm probably going to do Kirby. I need that palette cleanser now.
Oh, Ghostwire Tokyo.
Well, I have that, but I want to do I have Kirby next on the list, and then I do have Ghostwire here.
Kirby's not very long, so you'll get through that pretty quick. So now you got the Elden Ring reaction time and everything. It'll blow right through it. But it's an enjoyable game. So Swag says, if you bought Cyberpunk 2077 for $5, you can sell it for $10 at GameStop. Infinite money glitch.
Damn, my friend did that. If I knew that.
Yeah, right. Mimi said, speaking of people being new to Zelda, which do you think is a good place to start of these three? Link's Awakening, Breath of the Wild, or Ocarina on 3DS?
Link to the Past.
I didn't see Majora's Mask anywhere in here, so I will default to Link to the Past.
Link's Awakening.
Of the three, though, yeah, maybe Link's Awakening. Link's Awakening is a good one.
I would say Awakening. And what did they say? Breath of the Wild?
Breath of the Wild or Ocarina on 3DS.
Oh, Ocarina on 3D. Yeah. I would say Link's Awakening, then Ocarina, then Breath of the Wild.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, just fire up Breath of the Wild, whatever.
I think
who cares about past Zelda games?
It's the most approachable.
No.
Most approachable people did. They just said screw it.
There are probably a lot of people who just got into Breath of the Wild for the first time, and they're like, man, maybe I'll check out these other Zelda games. Ocarina of Time, 3D Link to the Past, and
people bought Skyward Sword, but like they're not all the people that bought Breath of the Wild that were new didn't go buy Skyward Sword.
This is Ghost says Valorant wasn't as bad as COD MW2 H3.
In regards to what?
iSpeed / Valorant. I don't know what that is.
Okay, he's talking about
the stream.
Nah.
which is he's incredibly popular. Which I looked up his numbers. I was like, goodness gracious!
I never heard of him.
Extremely popular.
Yeah,
Yep.
huge.
Consequences.
I might be too old for this conversation.
It's
Like, this may be one of those moments where I'm like,
he's super young. I mean, the dude's only like 7. I'm not excusing it.
I just mean like the
old,
names and words and stuff being used in this chat. I'm not sure.
When I was 17, I definitely knew what I should or should not be saying, especially if I had 7 million subscribers on the internet.
That's why I put up that post though. Quick, I said if you say racist,
YouTube too.
I said if you.
I mean, it's like a streaming thing.
He got banned from Twitch, and then a clip circulated, and then he got banned from the games he was playing because he was saying some rough stuff. I mean, granted, people were saying rough stuff back to him too, but you got 7 mil, and this man's like he's losing his mind on the mic, and it's like
he should have left game or something. Because I mean, I watch a lot of Dr. Disrespect, and people will yell pretty bad stuff at him occasionally in lobbies, and he just leaves game and
he's too young. I mean, the thing about it is that he's young. He's too young for that type of money to be coming in at that age. With
influence.
It's just something was going to blow up at some point, right? Like you can't maintain that type of personality and be sane with that type of money coming in, and that's what happened here with this kid. But maybe he'll be okay. Hopefully, he gets the right people talking to him.
Hopefully.
Okay. Fernando says, "Would you guys take a Link to the Past remake? How they remade Link's Awakening? That's all I can ever ask for."
Yeah.
No.
Not the same art style.
I'd be okay if they played around with Link to the Past, but Click's right. I think Link's Awakening should stay where it is, and it made sense as kind of the dream idea for it.
Yeah.
I don't even know what art style you do with Link's. Oh, that's tough. Link to the Past. I don't know. That's tough. Ghost says, talk about Maximilian in the free-to-play FGC discussion.
Yeah, that was interesting.
I saw that. Yeah, I thought it was interesting because he's seeing that there is a lot of fighting games that come up, then they're dead. Samurai Showdown just came out, then dead. You have the Melty Blood comes up, then it's dead, or it's dying.
It's even worse in the indie scene when you see an indie game come out that's actually good mechanics, rollback, and everything, and then no one even buys it on release.
And it's like dead almost place or Nickelodeon All Stars here, dead. You know, it's just like we're cycling through these fighting games way too quick. So he's saying, make them free to play, and that will get more people into it.
And a lot of people got mad at him, but I thought he even followed up on it later, and I thought his point was really valid, which is he's like, these games are already filled with microtransactions. There's already hundreds, if not thousands of dollars of costumes and stages and stuff. Let's just make it where you can get into the game for free, because putting all those microtransactions sucks, but then having a $60 fee to start practicing is what's killing the scene.
Okay. I see. Dark Type says, asked a question earlier, just letting you know. I looked through and I did not see it, Dark Type, but I'll double check again. Yum says, I wish they will restock Melty Blood type Lumina. Wooden says, Halo should have ended at Halo 3. 343 have shown numerous times that they're incompetent with Halo. Bungie did it better. Yeah, I mean, I can't argue that. That is correct. Colton says, please comment on Chrono Cross. So sad about it. Yeah, unfortunately, it sounds like the remaster didn't come out so great. I have not played it yet, but
come out worse than the PS1 on PS5.
I heard the frame rate was worse.
I watched the Digital Foundry analysis, and the only way to get it to where it runs as good with the new graphics on is switch in 720p portable mode, and it runs decently.
Yep, that's a shame. That's too bad. I assume patches are incoming. I don't know. I heard the AI upscaling didn't look great either. Like I said, I haven't fired it up yet. I was thinking about getting it on the PS5 and just leaving the Switch copy sealed as the collector's item that it is, but we'll see. I need to see if they patch it or do something to it. That's a shame.
I hope they.
I started replaying Chrono Trigger though. So I already had it. I bought it on my phone forever ago and beat it there, and I'm playing it again. And I forgot they have achievements even on Google, Google account, which is interesting. So it has achievements for it, which is cool.
Because Chrono Trigger, you can still go back and play it any system, and it still looks amazing. You know, it still looks great.
And then Hab says, so will the Spawncast be visiting Mario Land next year. Love to see you guys in California.
I
wouldn't mind going. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yes.
It'd be interesting.
Yes, and then you come to Orlando.
Go to the theme park.
We could all individually vlog it and then put videos up on each of our channels.
That'd be fun. I do want to go to one of these Nintendo theme parks eventually. So
yeah,
that seems like the one in the near future is in California. So yeah, it'd be cool. Maybe we should do that. It'd be fun. Shinru says, anyone else here collect arcade machines like RGT, or is he the only one? What would make you guys buy one if you don't? I do have one.
If I had the space.
The Marvel, it's the Marvel cabinet.
I have 2 arcade machines. They're not arcade 1-ups though. But I don't collect arcade cabinets, but I have 2 machines.
You have like the nice ones though. They're like the legit ones.
Sega
I
ones.
saw you have your room tour. You have like the legit ones.
I was thinking about that the other day because people are doing room tours again. I was like, should I do another one? But like the last one I did was like 2018 or something. So I may actually do another one.
Don't you have like a rare arcade cabinet and somebody screenshotted it for a fake eBay listing?
Someone
What?
So someone took a screenshot of one of my arcade machines and put it on a Craigslist ad.
Yeah.
And they were trying to sell it for $3,500. So I reported it as a scam.
I'd be curious to see if you got some offers on that.
the machine's not that rare, Max, but I just thought it was hilarious that
I saw that. I was dying laughing when I saw that. Like, what a specific, because it's very clearly a screenshot from a YouTube video.
I don't really know what the scam there is, though. You know,
well, because they meet you and rob you. That's the whole point. Is that you get somebody. The more specific the object, you get a weird, basement dwelling nerd like us. Yeah. And we show up with a bunch of cash and go, gee, sure hope you don't rob me.
Yeah, because it's usually high ticket items.
They'd even do it for lower stuff like PS4s. People were getting shot. Shot up. I saw a bunch when PS4s were coming.
Yeah, when the PS3 first came out, I remember there's a story about people waiting outside like a Best Buy or a Walmart, and someone showed up and they just went down the line and just robbed everyone.
Yeah, they were just robbing people like crazy, man.
1,000 minimum at that time because the PS3 was 600, and then the games, being $60.
You remember when those guys had like SWAT team gear and there was like a shipment truck of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 and they shot tear gas in the windshield and stole all the copies? Do you remember that?
No.
Yeah, it was like, obviously this is like decades ago now or whatever, but I remember I was laughing about this story because it's like these kids got like military gear. We're like, let's rob the shipment of GameStop.
It's not common, but it's happened. Like Splatoon got a shipment robbed in the UK.
What?
I remember that. I heard it.
In the UK, what they have slingshots.
Like
they were super soakers. Was like, stick them up.
Yeah, this got gasoline in it, brother.
Let me go to Streamlabs real quick. Ricky says if Nintendo released another Switch revision and it's called New Nintendo 3D Switch, it supports 1080p. Would you buy it?
Yes.
Yeah. People are buying like the Switch Lite in like Coral. I think people are gonna buy that. Yeah, I would check it out though. Yeah. Ricky says to Nate, a proper Dino Crisis 3-1.
A proper Dino Crisis. What year are we in? 2022. Before 2030.
Okay.
One will happen.
There you go. Liam says, what are your guys' initial thoughts on Lego Star Wars? Just a couple hours ago before I mentioned it. I don't know if you guys are big Star Wars fans, but I know at least John has picked it up, so I was curious to see if he was playing it and was enjoying it. Yeah, I've played through 3 of the saga so far, and I am enjoying it. Went through episode 4 immediately, then went back 1 and then 2. So I think it is very good. I think it's a game that if you like Legos is probably one of the best games you've ever played in the series ever. So I recommend checking it out. Let me see. We go around here as we finish up. Let's start with MVG. Where can everyone find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Modern Vintage G and YouTube Modern Vintage Gamer. Video on Monday. And probably a Nate the Hate next week. Thanks for having me on.
Let's go to Miss Click. Where can everyone find you?
Yeah, thanks for having me. You can find me here on YouTube as Miss Click Gaming. We'll have a video out for Kirby tomorrow, so that'll be great. And then you can find me live almost every day on Twitch for literally a variety of things. But I think yesterday we just randomly picked up Hades again. And then it ended up being just like another 10 hours of just Hades. But yeah, you can find me there on Twitch at twitch.tv/missclick_live. Other than that, you can find me on Twitter or Instagram as just Missclick, where we post clips and other crappy takes there.
Let's go over to OJ. Where can everyone find you?
Yeah, you can find me right here on YouTube, Player Essence. I don't know exactly what I'm doing tomorrow, but there'll be something up. And then next week, more Nintendo Switch series stuff, RPG stuff that we're going to be looking into. This past week was cool. And shout outs to everybody that came out through the pre-show, getting a lot of people coming through. So yeah, if you're into the pre-show before this show, we always do that every week on the channel. So Player Essence, you can check it out there. So yeah, RPG stuff, Nintendo stuff. If you like that, subscribe, homies. Thank you.
Let's go over to Max.
YouTube.com/Dreamcast guy. Got a big secret video coming out soon. And somebody described my channel on Twitter today. Some guy was mad at me and he said, I hate Dreamcast guy because he has the hottest takes coming out of the worst mustache. So if you want that content, come to my channel.
What?
I saw all sorts of people saying stuff to you, Dreamcast guy, because when you made a clear joke, you said dead game.
Yes, I pissed off all.
Is that where they say that?
Yes, I literally replied to the Halo Twitter account "dead game," and I've been getting hate for the last couple days.
A litany of people. Well, you wouldn't know what a dead channel is. You only get 30K views per video. I'm like, bro, give me 30. Hold up,
I know. Yeah, and people just like shave off that mustache, and then you could talk about dead games. It's like, calm down.
You have a dead channel with only 210,000 or 200,000 subscribers. Well, you guys are dumb as fuck.
Yeah, a million views a month is not good enough for a bunch of randos.
Like legit, like, yeah, dude, how would you? Anyway, I'm done with that. Like, I saw people saying stupid stuff like that. Like,
let's go to Nate the Hate.
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube at Nate the Hate and on Twitter at Nate the Hate, followed by the number 2. As MVG said, we should have a new episode this coming week on a topic people have wanted us to talk about, but we're still figuring out the angle of how to approach it. And here's a reminder for everyone, and this is about life. The one constant through all the years has been baseball. America has rolled by like an army of steamrollers. It's been erased like a blackboard, rebuilt and erased again. But baseball has marked the time. This field,
that makes me
this
sad.
Game is a part of our past. Reminds us
Evan,
all
can we fade out?
that was once good.
Yeah, fade out.
And that could be again.
Everything's a cliche until it's happening to you.
Nate, where'd you get that from? Where'd you get that from, Nate?
Field of Dreams.
Oh.
Here's some real advice. All right. Act online like your kids will watch you in 10 years when you have them.
That's some good advice.
Bro,
There
if
you
people
go.
actually took that advice, the internet would be a very different place right now.
There you go. Look at it that way. In 20 years, you might lose all your leverage with your kids when they find
my
you
daughter doesn't watch
clips
me
from
at
you
all,
20
man.
years ago.
There's definitely
yelling about random stuff.
there was a
Keep that in
picture of me
mind.
somewhere on the internet, and I have a Master Chief action figure, and I'm licking cake icing out of his butt crack. That exists from about 15 years ago, and when that comes back, I'll definitely.
Yeah, you might
get
have a hard time.
canceled.
Okay.
What?
All right.
People
what
made
about
a
Evan?
face about me reading James Earl Jones's speech about baseball from Field of Dreams, and you just talked about
It's delicious ice cream.
One of those
Right
two
out of the butt
conversations was good.
Okay. Evan, where can everyone find you?
Well, real quick, 3 Discord questions we can bolt through. Primal Rage, does anyone remember, and should
Yes.
it have a revival or reboot?
I would have no
Yes.
problem with Primal Rage coming back. I think that'd be fun.
I mean, after we did the whole talk about free-to-play fighting games, yeah.
I have no problem. Yeah, bring it back.
With Disney Plus's upcoming revival of the X-Men cartoon and the recent resurgence of classic
Yes.
beat 'em ups, should we get an X-Men beat 'em up?
Yes.
yes.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
And because people everywhere like to re-stir up old shit, why is it that hard for some people to understand that JRPGs don't sell well on Xbox?
God.
Sounds like an
I'll
OJ
see my
question.
way out of this one here.
Everybody, OJ has left this call.
I'll see my way out of here. Those guys are, they're passionate.
You can
7 of them.
You can find me on Twitter at Kimrix Project. If you're bored and don't have anything to do, usually through the week, I sometimes art stream, so you can find out about that there.
Thanks, everyone, for joining us tonight. We'll be back next Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Hopefully, we'll have Jordan, and we should have Sean back. So we'll see you guys then.
Go
Yes.
Yankees.
It's a cooking.